of Americans support Israel in this battle. So who are you placating here? And you know, even that interesting poll came out about Kansas. You see the Axios poll about student opinion.
Yes.
81% of students want to see the protesters punished. Only 9% of students care about Israel-Palestine. It's the last item they care about out of 9 items, out of 9 issues.
Stand by, Dr. Orrin. I want to go to break. I want to talk to you for the podcast for 3 minutes about what the War Cabinet is going to do when they meet again. Your best guess. Don't go anywhere, America. I'll be back in an hour or two. I'll play for you what I talked with Dr. Orrin off air in the course of the first segment in the next hour. Don't go anywhere. Except over to HughHewitt.com. You can also subscribe to Highly Concentrated Hugh. Dr. Orrin has a newsletter called Clarity. He has a podcast coming called Clarity. You should subscribe to the former and find and follow the latter when it appears. In the meantime, all of this will be on Highly Concentrated Hugh, available at iTunes, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. It's the best of the Hugh Hewitt Show today. Jonathan Shanzer coming up, Cliff May coming up, Josh Kroshauer coming up, Senator Cornyn coming up. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned to the Hugh Hewitt Show.
When you absolutely, positively need the truth, this is where you turn. This is the Hugh Hewitt Show.
This is Michael Horn for Balance7.com. I've been using Balance 7 for over 3 years. Balance 7 is a supplement to my diet and my life. I take 3 1-ounce sips a day. I find Balance 7 keeps my body's acid-alkaline balance at 7. The way to my health is through my stomach. I've gotten past colds, flu, even pandemics with Balance 7. But don't just take my word for it. Listen to Balance 7 user Mooney.
Balance 7 saved me. Balance 7 became a part of my lifestyle. I'm grateful for Balance 7 in my life.
Kickstart your immune system with Balance7.com. Try Balance 7 today. Call 800-793-9039. You've got nothing to lose with the Balance 7 money-back guarantee. 800-793-9039 or go to Balance7.com. Balance, the number 7.com. Change your life, help your immune system, and balance your body with Balance7.com.
This is the Hugh Hewitt Show.
Are you looking for a way to preserve our founding history and American spirit for generations to come? Look no further than the blueprints of Liberty Brick. Each brick you purchase helps build Liberty Village, a family destination where youth and families will encounter history like never before. You'll feel a sense of pride and belonging when you see your name engraved on a brick in Liberty Village. The Blueprints of Liberty Brick is a way to leave your mark on the future while preserving our nation's rich heritage.
Securing America.
President Biden's Director of National Intelligence, Avril Haines, tells senators cyber attacks skyrocketed by 74% in 2023. She says the likelihood of a single attack having widespread impact still remains low, but
the increased number of attacks and the actors' willingness to access and manipulate these control systems increases the collective odds that at least one could have a more significant impact.
Haines says many of the attacks are simple in nature, targeting weak passwords and weak networks. The director stressed to the Senate Armed Services Committee the need for those in charge of critical infrastructure to improve cybersecurity. The most recent defense budget included an increase in hiring and training for the Cyber Service Academy. President Biden's defense budget request includes $14.5 billion for cyberspace. On Capitol Hill, Ryan Schmelz, Fox News.
The Point is KUSG, Hagåtña, Guam, 93.3 FM and 104.3 HD3.
The U.S. is not walking away from Israel. Lisa Brady, Fox News. That from the Biden administration defending a decision to hold back some heavy bombs over concern about a new ground invasion.
White House National Security Communications Advisor John Kirby says President Biden shares Israel's goal of eliminating the threat of Hamas in Gaza.
Smashing into Rafah, in his view, will not advance that objective, will not get to that sustainable, enduring defeat of Hamas.
The president says he's made clear to Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu that the U.S. will not support a major military operation in the southern Gazan city of Rafah, where more than 1 million Palestinians are sheltering.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. The Israeli prime minister says they'll stand alone if they have to. Sheriff's officials in Florida disputing reports that a deputy who killed an Air Force airman, Roger Fortson, had gone to the wrong door on a disturbance call. An Okaloosa County Sheriff Eric Aiden says the deputy who knocked identified himself twice.
Mr. Fortson's comments indicate that he did acknowledge it was law enforcement at the door, and he arrived at the door with a firearm in his hand.
They just released body cam footage. Fortson, who's black, was shot 6 times. His family's attorney demanding a transparent investigation. Republican-led states are suing the Environmental Protection Agency over a new rule aimed at reducing carbon emissions.
The group of 25 state attorneys general are taking issue with an EPA rule that will require gas and coal plants to cut greenhouse gas emissions by 90% by 2032. West Virginia Attorney General Patrick Morrisey says the rule sets up existing gas and coal-fired plants to fail and eventually close in favor of the current administration's push to address climate change.
Fox's Gernal Scott. The lawsuit also argues congressional approval was needed. Wall Street rallies, the Dow up 331 at the bell. America is listening to Fox News.
Get ready to make waves at the event of the year. The Micronesian Conservation Coalition proudly presents the 3rd annual Ocean Gala, taking place Saturday, May 11th from 6 to 10 at the stunning Hyatt Regency Guam. Join us to celebrate our beautiful ocean and the tireless efforts of our community to preserve it. Dance the night away with live music, indulge in exquisite cuisine, and be inspired by our Starry Night celebration, honoring our ocean champions. Tickets are selling fast at $150 a head, or grab a table for 10 for just $1,400. WhatsApp or call 671-797-8445 with your interest. That's 671-797-8445. Special thanks to our generous sponsors, including Environmental Chemical Corporation, Bank of Guam, Future Smiles Orthodontics, Unitech Environmental Guam, Phoenix Jet, and Landscape Management Systems. Don't miss out. In the words of Vincent van Gogh, great things are done by a series of small things brought together.
For the second time, a judge in El Paso dismisses charges against migrants accused of rioting at the southern border.
More than 200 illegal immigrants breached border fencing March 21st and rushed through Texas National Guard troops. The chaos captured by the New York Post, with numerous state misdemeanor rioting charges filed that were dropped last month in a similar case during an April incident by El Paso Judge Ruben Morales, citing lack of probable cause. A grand jury later determined there is enough evidence, sending the case back to the judge, an elected Democrat who on Wednesday dismissed over 200 cases, citing lack of proper jurisdiction. Jeff Manasso, Fox News.
Prosecutors in El Paso County plan a news conference an hour from now. Federal safety investigators just announcing a probable cause hearing on the near miss between a Southwest Airlines jet and a FedEx cargo plane that came within about 115 feet of each other last year in Austin. The cargo plane aborting a planned landing on the same runway where the Southwest jet was taking off. The NTSB will hold a hearing June 6th. TikTok wants users to do more to help identify the use of AI.
TikTok had already made its users tag any of their videos created with artificial intelligence with a note disclosing the technology's use, especially when it contains realistic images or sounds. Now the company will require users do the same when they upload any video made with AI but created on another social or media platform. TikTok says it's part of their attempts to combat misinformation.
Fox's Eben Brown, the platform, and its Chinese parent company ByteDance are suing the U.S. government over a new law requiring the app be sold to an American company or face a possible U.S. ban. Recapping stocks, a rally. The Dow up 331, the S&P up 26, the NASDAQ finishing up about 43. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News.
Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959, and they will continue to be there for you in the years come. Whether you're looking to get a personal loan for that summer vacation or paying off those long overdue bills, Family Finance has got you covered. Apply for a personal loan from $1,000 up to $4,100 by calling Family Finance in Hagåtña at 671-475-4545 or in Dededo 671-633-4473.
When one of my family members needs to be seen by a medical provider for an illness or injury that's not life-threatening but still requires immediate medical care, I go to the FHB Health Center Urgent Care. With convenient hours, no appointment needed, and medical providers I trust, my loved ones are receiving quality medical care. For more information, go to www.fhbguam.com. FHB Health Center, the island's only truly dedicated urgent care.
May is Stroke Awareness Month, and it's crucial to recognize the signs. Do you know BFAST?
BFAST?
Yeah, BEFAST. It stands for balance, eyes, face, arms, speech, and time. These are symptoms you need to watch out for.
Can you break it down?
All right, sure. Balance issues, sudden trouble with vision, facial drooping, arm weakness, slurred speech, and it's time to call emergency services.
Remember, folks, when it comes to strokes, time is brain. Act fast, save a life. Learn the Be Fast symptoms today.
Brought to you by Guam Regional Medical City, advocating for stroke awareness and prevention. Visit us at www.grmc.gu.
Holiday and Good Morning Guam at 6:06 on Friday, May 10. I'm Donna DeJesus with a look at your local news on The Point. Police are still seeking 31-year-old Masemwan Repwak, suspected in a Mighty shooting injuring a 14-year-old girl. Repwak is linked to multiple violent crimes and suspected of forming a street gang. He's known to change his appearance and vehicle color frequently. Authorities suspect he's armed and dangerous. The community is urged to report any information to GPD or to Guam Crime Stoppers anonymously. Repwak's criminal record includes previous assaults and car theft. A cash award of up to $1,000 is offered for information leading to his arrest. Meanwhile, former GVB Director Nico Fujikawa claims wrongful termination and harassment by management under Carl Guiares. Documents submitted to the Civil Service Commission detail allegations of harassment and unfair treatment. Fujikawa says he was fired over political patronage and faced months of hostilities at GVB. He accuses Guterres of egregious behavior and retaliation after raising workplace issues. The termination notice was reportedly served with a GPD officer raising questions about official misconduct. GVB's response remains under scrutiny as the CSC reviews Fujikawa's appeal. Guterres' absence and limited comments add to the controversy surrounding Fujikawa's dismissal. We'll have more news after this.
Always here to help you. This island is our home. Through the years, we've been a friend to the neighbors we have known. Now we're banking on the future. There's services to choose. Bank Pacific, where others put branches, we place roots.
Governor Lulian Guerrero vetoed Bill 165, which would have made trash collection subscriptions mandatory for residential buildings. While supporting island-wide garbage collection, she criticized the bill for lacking immediate solutions to assist poorer residents. The legislation proposed a customer assistance program but lacked specifics on implementation and funding. The governor suggested immediate financial aid through GSWA. She shared concerns about the burden on fixed-income residents, echoing PD Mayor Jesse Alex's worries. She also vetoed Bill 234, which aims to increase rental payment pledges for a new prison, citing fiscal concerns and lack of clarity on funding sources. 5 other bills were signed into law, including measures related to family leave, driver's handbooks distribution, FAFSA completion prioritization, and fee waivers for certain groups obtaining Guam IDs. And public health officials identified 38 food establishments that sold banned enoki mushrooms from Korea and China, potentially contaminated with listeria. No illnesses have been reported. Listeria symptoms include fever, headache, and abdominal pain. Pregnant women are particularly at risk as it can cause miscarriages and stillbirths. The 38 establishments that distributed and sold the banned products from February to May include 7 Day Supermarket, PIC, Bio Water and Ice, Payless, California Mart, Crust Pizzeria, the Village of Donkey, including Wakasakura Restaurant, Soul Mart, Hoshino Resorts, Nico Hotel, Super Happy Mart, Hyatt, Tsubaki Tower, UR Market, Village Pantry, and Olympia Mart. See the full list on KUAM.com and postguam.com. And those are your top stories right here on The Point. Now here's Ray in Japan with your weather.
Can somebody explain to me what a ban means? How is it possible that these enokis could be banned but available virtually everywhere, including the new Village of Donkey?
Choices.
Anybody?
You have choices now, Ray.
I'm just asking. It's banned. How is something that is banned available? Yet we're also, and the guy we've got a distributor that's coming out saying, "Okay, I've got this. It's banned. If it's banned, how did it even get in here? I mean,
Maybe
somebody got to answer those questions." Right. It was
Depopulation, Ray.
I was out of the country at the time. I was hanging out with Ray Gibson in Tokyo at the time. Okay, I just think we need to work on better definitions of words like, I don't know, vaccine, immunity, and banned. But we'll work through that as we make our way into, what is it, Friday morning on Guam? How about that, ladies and gentlemen? To get you the weather here, and when I say here, I mean right outside my window, where it is right now 49 degrees. Now, the reason why I'm laughing so much is because wasn't it Landon when we were talking on Wednesday who said, yeah, it's going to be pretty warm in Japan, probably won't need to bring a jacket. 49 degrees outside right now. It will get to be about 74 a little bit later on today, but we've got sunny skies and some light breezes around here, so that'll be good for all the walking around that we intend to get done as soon as this program is concluded. Weather for Guam. All right, let me see if I can get that up on my screen and up on your screen. Real Joe printed it out for me, and here it is. Isolated showers in the forecast for Guam today. Otherwise, mostly sunny. Highs near 89 degrees. East-northeast winds will be 8 to 13 miles an hour. Expected isolated showers and partly cloudy skies tonight. Overnight low should be 78 degrees. East-northeast winds 8 to 11 miles an hour. And forecast for my birthday is going to be mostly sunny skies, highs near 88 degrees, winds east 9 to 13 miles an hour. Saturday night, partly cloudy skies and overnight lows of about 78 degrees. On Sunday, Mother's Day, Pirates Cove, mostly sunny with highs near 88 degrees. Winds out of the east 9 to 13 miles an hour, so careful with your hats, Mom. And partly cloudy and overnight lows of about 78 degrees on Sunday night. With the heat index on Guam over the next couple of days, going to feel like 92 degrees, 20% chance of rain. Sunrise this morning was at 5:56. Sunset tonight should be about 6:38 or so. Hashtag tell the others. There it is. News and weather together on 93.3 The Point. Brought to you by Bank Pacific, banking on the Pacific for almost 70 years.
Introducing My Rewards from 76 Circle K, a new and exciting way to fuel your savings. Get rewarded while purchasing your favorite items like Circle K coffee, Polar Pop, hot dogs, and more. Save 25 cents off per gallon and fuel your savings with My Rewards. Download the My Rewards Guam app. 25 cents off per gallon is valid for up to 20 gallons. One time per day. Certain exclusions apply. Visit 76circlekguam.com for more details.
Hungry for an unforgettable dining experience? Look no further than Mezcla Chamorro Fusion Bistro, where every meal is a celebration of flavor and tradition. From mouth-watering appetizers to decadent desserts, every dish is crafted with passion and local flair, and with a warm and inviting atmosphere that feels like coming home. Dining at Mezcla Bistro is not just a meal, it's an experience to savor. Join us at Mezcla Bistro in the heart of Hagåtña. Your table awaits. Visit us online at mezclaguam.com or call 671-479-2652. or 489-2653. Mezcla Chamorro Fusion Bistro, a true taste of Guam.
Nice. Portions of the broadcast made possible by APL, American President Lines, a global presence with a local home, and Island Cancer Center. We're treating your family.
The Ray Gibson Show.
From
Morning
Japan.
talk that matters. Call now, 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
And away we go, ladies and gentlemen, from Akasaka and the my stay premier in the village of Akasaka, Tokyo. This is the Ray Gibson. Actually, I think I'm going to call it the Ray and Carl show. A little bit later on, former Governor Carl T.C. Guiares going to be joining me, and we'll lay out the conversation about what it is that we're doing. No, really, it's a work, and it's a lot of work that has taken place leading up to where we are today, and even as late as last night when we were all at a reception in this massive tower out in Roppongi. And I got to tell you, so one of the things that stands out the most about this, and I'll play some video of the event, is the elevator. It had two buttons on it. One was the first floor, and the other one was the 31st floor, and that was it. And then you get up to the 31st, and there's this massive area that they've got laid out, and all kinds of gee whiz high tech meeting technology, and you say a word in Japanese, and all of a sudden the windows go dark. It's very, very James Bond, very, very clever. And we had a chance to meet up with at least 100 or so of the travel agents in this part of the world to get them hyped up about this Haneda jump that United Airlines has been doing. Just an absolutely terrific night. Naturally, the food was pretty good as well. Now let me see if I can get some. I don't have too many images, and unfortunately, I'm unable to. Mostly because I'm lazy. I'm sure there's a way to do it, but I'm unable to send actual live video from this broadcast. So you're gonna have to put up with my selfies and a couple of pictures that I took. I did get some video over the last couple of days of what we've been up to since arriving in Japan, and I'll play bits and pieces of that. Hey, is that real, Joe? That I hear?
Yeah, I get the phone. And I made this happen. I did everything over here to make it happen.
Well, I appreciate that. So I'm
just kidding. I did nothing.
I'm sitting in the hotel bed yesterday, not where you thought the conversation was going to go, right? And I thought, well, I wished Real Joe was at the radio station so I could test out the gear. And as it turns out, Real Joe was at the radio station about 6:30 or so. We were able to get a test going on. Was it just couldn't sleep? Just kind of wandered and said, "Well, I better check out the radio."
No, man, I got to make money. I had to make hours to punch in, man.
Very good. Very good. Now, when you got in this morning, and as I was coming to, I noticed that there were a couple of issues with a couple of our streams. Usually indicates that there was a problem with power. Were you able to get any information on whether there was some
Not
kind
yet,
of an
but I'm
outage,
reaching out. I'm reaching out.
I see Simon Sanchez online here this morning.
Morning, Uncle Si. What'd you do, man?
Did you switch to the app yet? Bro, I got to talk about apps. But a ton of stuff on the table of contents today. It's so weird. Maybe there's a certain kind of clarity that I have when I'm out of town. But there's all kinds of stuff literally in the table of contents that I'm dying to share with you. And I don't want to wait until I get back to talk about some local stuff. So before we get crazy on the Haneda United Airlines Haneda to Guam flight and some of the interesting other conversations that are taking place. So it's not just GVB Guam, GVB Japan side that's here. We've also been joined by a delegation of representatives from the Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands, some of who you know, some of who you don't know. We'll introduce you to them a little bit later on. Obviously, they've got some unique challenges going on in the NMI with the closure of the Hyatt and their downturn in the hospitality industry, as we've seen here on Guam. And, well, maybe not so unusual when you stop and think about it. You go down to Tumon, there's at least two major hotels that are closed right now. What's left of the Verona and the Pac Star Hotel. What's going to happen with them? What's the future of the hospitality industry for the entire region? Carl's got a plan, and we'll talk about that as the program continues. At any rate, one of the other things that took place in the last 24 hours on Guam, I found out, was that they have conducted the drawing for senators in the Republican Party and the Democrat Party. Apparently, we are going to move forward with a primary election, even though we don't need one. Only 11 people on the Democrat side picked up and dropped off a packet. 14 on the Republican side picked up and dropped off a ballot. So we're going to go through the academics of basically rearranging all of the letters here and throw another 25 people at the population, at the voting population twice. Democratic senatorial candidates in order right now. Senator Will Parkinson at number 1. Number 2, Senator Sabina Perez At number 3 on your primary ballot, Senator Roy Canatta, Senator Dwayne St. at number 4, Dave Crisostomo at number 5, Joe S. St. Augustine at number 6, Senator Chris Barnett at 7, Speaker Therese.
Sorry.
No, perfectly okay. All the little school children love malfunction. We've got number 8 is Speaker Therese Terlahi. Number 9, Ralph Duenas. Number 10, Tina Rose Munya Barnes, who is actually here in Japan as well. We'll spend some time with her on the radio in just a little bit. At number 11, Angela Santos. On the Republican side, at number 1, Sabrina Salas Matanani. We say congratulations to you. It's kind of a pole position there. We got Senator Joanne Brown, Senator Jess Lujan, Senator No Pain, No Gain, Bill Payne at number 4. My classmate Frank Blas Jr. at number 5, Vince Borja at number 6. Not Guitar Vince, that's Senator Vince. I got number 7, Sean Gumatautau. That's Tattoo Sean from the beautiful village of Telefofo. At number 8, Telo Taitagui, who actually came in the other night aboard the Haneda flight. She was among those. There were 2 flights to Narita. Yeah.
She's fun to travel with.
Oh, gotta be. Oh, yeah. So far, so good. Anyway, so she got on the Haneda flight. There were 2 Narita flights that left Guam. And I got to tell you, so we're at the airport in Narita waiting through about a 90-minute customs and immigration line upstairs, whichever one it is, 90 minutes or so. And by the time we got to around the front of it, we started seeing people that came in on the Narita flight that left an hour after hours. We had been in the line that long. And among the guys that came in on the second Narita jump was Hank Gohan. Hank Rice is in town. I don't know if he's going to be part of this broadcast. We'll have to wait and see. Vic Gaza at, wait. Telo Taitagui at number 8. He Who Shall Not Be Named at number 9.
Mm-hmm.
Vic Gaza at number 10. I see Chris Duenas at number 11. Bistro Rusanova Mendiola at number 12. Tony Adda at number 13. You know, Real Joe, I don't think we've seen the last of Tony Adda. And at number 14, it's Shelley Calvo. And I'm wondering every time somebody sees Shelley on the list, I wonder if they think that might be talking about my big sister, Shelley Gibson, who has been watching the house and taking care of the cat. Anyway, so drawings for the positions. I don't know how it went for everybody else, but I do know because he posted it.
Here we go.
Former Congressman Michael F.Q. Sanicolas got to be number 1. Now, in just a little bit, I don't know, a few minutes from now, we'll spend a little bit of time with former Governor Carl T.C. Guiares, who's got 20 years, man and boy, just in the legislature alone, and find out what his sentiments are about. Does it really make a difference whether you come in absolutely number 1 on the ballot or number 15 on the ballot? Does that hold any sway with the voters, or will they go out and find you? A couple other things that are going on that I thought was kind of interesting here on this Mother's Day Friday: $10 billion to fix Anderson Air Force Base, a story that comes out of someplace. I'll get the explains on this a little bit later on, but they're tallying up all the damage from Super Typhoon Mawar, and as it turns out, it's not something they're going to be able to take care of with the regular MILCON budget. They're going to have to find all kinds of other money to do that. But you know how much $10 billion? We could rebuild Tumon about 3 or 4 times with $10 billion in today dollars. And so if you thought that the military buildup was going to be ending anytime soon, as the Carpenter said, we've only just begun. That's going to take some time for them to get all the money and then decide what it is that they're going to do. What old 60s, 70s, 80s infrastructure on Anderson Air Force Base is going to be replaced by, gee whiz high-tech stuff that they're going to be able to spend $10 billion on. There was another interesting story from the world of sports about Guam soccer, and apparently we got beat by the Indonesians 14. How do they say that in soccer, Real Joe? Nil? It's 14-0?
Yeah. No.
We got beat.
Zilch.
But the headline is, but they didn't celebrate. The Indonesians didn't celebrate. And I thought, well, did they not celebrate because they felt sorry for us? With a 14-0 loss. And as it turns out, there was apparently something happened in a stadium out in the world somewhere. And that's one of the reasons why they didn't do that. The traditional, we just kick Guam's butt on the soccer pitch, the victory dance and all of those kinds of things. Anyway, lots of stuff on the table of contents. As I say, Real Joe gets the the phone when you call 888-825-5888-TALK. I'm not sure how much we'll be able to do by way of phones. There are a lot of people to talk to and a lot of issues to talk about, and using the United Airlines Haneda to Guam route as a basis, as a platform for the rest of the conversation. There's a word that you will hear multiple times this morning, and that is cabotage. Cabotage. Sounds like something that you eat. Sounds like something that was on the buffet tables last night over at the get-together, but it's not. It was a matter of a great deal of discussion then, and we'll get to the ground on how we want to pursue something like that, because it could make a difference in regional travel as we move forward into what's left of 2024 and into next year. At any rate, like I said, Real Joe going to get the phone if you call and do some of the other things associated with producing this morning show. Donna D is going to be taking care of a look at all of the major news and headlines, and maybe she can find out how it is possible that enoki mushrooms have been banned, yet they were available in 38 places, including the debut of Village of Donkey. I'm going to find out if there's an enoki. If we got people from GVB in front of me right now, like a studio audience, and if there's anybody here that knows any enoki farmers in the region, perhaps we can get some unbanned enoki mushrooms out to Guam, because I don't know that you can put together a traditional Japanese menu without such an incredible thing. At any rate, so now that the introductions are all taken care of, maybe we need to talk to some of these samurai shoguns here.
Sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. You want to be where you can see our troubles are all the same. You want to be where everybody knows your name. You want to go where people know people are all the same. You want to go where everybody knows your name.
No, people are not all the same. There are guys running around there with high water pants and no socks at all kinds of events that you're going to. These, I'm sorry, it's still in my head. What can I say? It's kind of ridiculous. I think I'm gonna play a little bit of a video while I go through some of what we've got here. This is video, just some clips that I took over the last couple of days since we arrived at the My Stays, the Hotel My Stays premiere here in Akasaka, and I got to tell you, it's got a feature that I absolutely love. It's you get into the elevators in the lobby, and you push the button to the basement, and when you walk out of the basement, you're inside a full-blown 7-Eleven, and it has everything. There's whatever it is that you want. The only thing they didn't have is one of those adapters, those 3-prong adapters to 2-prong adapters. Just a note, if you're coming to Japan, they don't know anything about 3 prongs. They float their ground around here. Apparently there is no ground in Japan, so everything is 2 prongs for whatever reason why. Big man Rico Blancaflor at number 1 today. Thank you very much. It's a tiny bit of an international time zone delay that we've got to deal with. There's Ismael Velez. Big man Rico, like I said, Rob Greeno saying, yay, today Ray is live. The amazing and incredible Brad Wood.
Morning, Wood. Morning.
I extended the pronunciation on Brad's. Yeah, so shut up. So we can include the sound effect. Henry Manglutnia is there. Buenas and Afide to Elizabeth Mendiola Kitutu. As I said, Rob Greeno online. Ken Augustine. What's that, Ismail? Democrats saved Speaker Johnson by 163 votes, meaning that 43 Congress people voted to get rid of him. Not enough, huh? Let me see. Nate Horn is there. Henry Manglutnia. Bill Petit, Patty Santiago. Hava James Bondo. EOD Kaboom is online. What do we know about EOD, guys?
Ooh, hot wives.
Yeah,
Morning
something
to
like
your
that.
hot wives.
Bandit, Buenas and Afide to Margaret Estachio, Keena McCausland from the upper left-hand corner of the United States. Juanita Machi doing her wave deal. Let me see. I got Bunker Menno hanging out. John Muffness. I see Patrick A. and Martha Toves. Annette Ada Vasquez watching the program from an undisclosed location somewhere in Southern California. J.B. St. Nicholas is there. So is Valerie Cruz. I got Margaret... What?
I'm sorry, everybody's bowing in that video. There's like bowing going on everywhere.
Yes, they are. Yeah, there's it is.
A million bows, sir.
So what we're showing off here is this was the cocktail reception of the cocktail reception, and the other video that you just saw, the other picture that you just saw is actually Tokyo Tower, which you're kind of looking down on from where we were on the 34th floor. When I was a little boy, came to Guam first time with Uncle Jim and Shelley in 1972. They took us to the top of the Tokyo Tower, and the top of the Tokyo Tower in 1970, it was the tallest building in the area. There was no other tall buildings, and now it's kind of an anachronism where it's just it's a midget among the skyscrapers, but it's got this really, really cool, old school, old Tokyo vibe. And as much as things have changed around here, my guess is there's a lot of people that appreciate that for nostalgic reasons. Lori Duenas, that's Lori with a Y. Chirlorna Fritas Laron is online from GRMC. They're our healthcare partners. Rudy Rodolfo, the original Burger King, is online here today. I got Gina Nicolas, Jay Nauta, Nate, Jeff Pleadwell, Chris Watson saying konnichiwa. So is Lonnie with an I, Solace. Lori is there again. Brennan Fausto. Jigo Jarhead. Let's go, veteran warfighters. Happy blessed birthday, Ray Gibson. Thank you very much. Celebrating since, frankly, since I got here. And while I got Brennan online, just a thought. Over $2,000, it's almost $3,000 worth of winnings tonight about 7 o'clock over at VFW in Jigo. Stephen Blake is there. Let me see, Janice Wong. Jacqueline Gokwe Cruz, Auntie Bennett Lujan Duenas. She has not yet started telling you who to vote for, so you got time. Stephen Blake, real guy. Yeah, as a matter of fact, a real guy who knows a word in Japanese, konnichiwa, Ray, and Point Gang. And the Point Gang, like I said, includes GVB family from Guam as well as Japan. Heather Perez is knocking on the door here. Auntie Bennett, there she is, telling you to vote for Jesse Lohan, Sabrina Salas, Sean Gumatauto, re-elect Jim Moylan. Okay, thanks very much. And just vote Republican all the way. Heather Perez. Buenas and Day to you, Elizabeth Mendiola Kitsutsu, Jerome McDonald from where's he at? Southern California, sunny Southern California. Today I'm not drinking Jerome McDonald coffee. This coffee is the 7-Eleven Premium Cafe Latte.
So you're flying. You're flying right now.
Yeah, well, so I know once upon a time I might have said that cafe lattes are for gays, but this is actually really, really good, and I recommend that if you're out here that you try some of this stuff. I was just kidding. I'm sure I'm sure they appreciate all kinds of coffee. Valerie S.A. Untalan, the Christine Oliver is hanging out. So is let me see, Tattoo Shauna Fujikawa. Stickles has made her way around here. Tattoo Shauna, you would absolutely love this place. Army Lynn is watching the program, so we've got balloon smuggling going on. Dennis Larson, B-Man online. Let me see if there's anybody else. I want to make sure I don't miss anybody. Jason at Military Auto Source, Ed Uggan, Jane Sasai is watching the program. Jane, I got Uncle Carl. He's going to be on the radio next. I know you're crazy about the man. He's going to be joining me before too much longer. Jessica Barrett is on. Branson, rolling with Branson online here this morning. Got Simon Sanchez. Let me see. There's Rie Tezuka. Henry Menglut. Linda Gabriel hanging out. Chris Frank saying good morning, Dennis Larson. Hey, dude, what about the rest of us? Maria Duenas Perez, Charles Craw. I got Vince Duenas, different one than the other one. He's the one that's not running for senator and doesn't play guitar. Patrick Bumba, Tony and Annette Unpinko Ada. We already played the sound effect, but just for completeness, let's make sure that we get this in here one more time. I don't think we've seen the last of Tony Ada. Coach Joe Cepeda watching. So is Tricia Santos Baker. Says, looks like a fun trip. So far, so good. Let me see. I got Brad. Oh, no, I already said Brad Wood. Michael Iguania checking in from Anderson Air Force Base. There's Sabrina Salas Matanani watching the show.
Good morning,
TJ. Yeah, TJ Mendiola. How's that waving thing? Have you gotten used to waving? It's not something we do in the media. In the media, we watch other people wave, but I've noticed that she's out there a little bit more. Jerome asking about, what's that, latte for who? Never mind. Sometimes words come out of my mouth that I regret later. That's not going to be one of them. Bistro Rusanova Mendiola. What number did I say she was on the ballot? And beautiful Sarita Gurin saying happy birthday to Cass. Sweet. She's among our favorites. Let me just take a quick look and see who's playing around on the YouTube side. Look, it's Kitsutsu in Japan and Ray Gibson in Japan. Francis Salas saying happy Friday to everybody. Rudy Rodolfo hanging out on this side. Ohio, welcome to Japan, Ray. Loving this 155 yen, bro. Let me see Carolyn Long, Eunice Mendiola. J-Boy Vega, good morning, everyone. Where's the best buffet on island? Taking my kid with me to Guam. It will be her first time. Depends on how old the kid is. There's some kids, you can give them trail mix. They don't care. But then there's other kids, after they've had like a $60 buffet, they get all sophisticated, and that's all they ever want to have. Vern Bates says, couldn't get the show yesterday. YouTube, Rumble, Point website, we're all not broadcasting. Anybody want to tell Vern what happened? Okay, I'll do it. So what happened was Sean Gumatautel had suggested that, my request, I said, Sean, do you mind doing the show? And he said, yeah, no problem, be fun to, get in to call all the Republican guys in, have a good time with them. But as it turns out, he decided that Wednesday or so would be a great time to announce that he is an actual bona fide candidate running for office. And as a result of that, I can't let him on the radio without letting all 24 of the other guys on the radio. And I just don't know that was going to be as entertaining as Pika's best as I would have liked it to have been. So rather than try to get somebody at the last minute, we just decided to take the morning off and enjoy the travel day. Bel Marie Toves, Marichu Relativo, Pete Apu is there, Bad Boy 671, DP. Joe, stop it. I know it's in your mind. Just stop it. Elvis Canat, and we've got a Tiggle Bitty sighting. So the morning now is complete. 6:35 in the morning as we make our way into an incredible Friday. No frowny face Friday. And if I make a frowny face, nobody is going to see it. So that's the way that's going to be. A bunch of stuff in the news, and I think by way of getting kind of a primer started and get me caught up on what's going on, let's jump into news and headlines with Donna D. Donna, what's going on?
28-year-old Jeff Maytawan has been cleared of charges in an ambulance theft case. Defense attorney Tyler Scott cited flaws in the investigation. The ambulance was stolen in August. Co-actor David Yoichi admitted driving it, but the government couldn't link Maytawan to the theft. Yoichi's plea deal may lead to a 10-month to 8-year sentence. Circumstances surrounding the theft remain unclear. And a police chase ensued after an officer spotted a motorcycle without a rear license plate near the Barragata post office. The rider, Jesse John Flores Duenas Jr., attempted to flee but surrendered at Seti Bay Overlook. During his arrest, meth was found in his possession. If convicted, Duenas could face 6 years in prison. He was released on a $5,000 bond. And Ipoh Road is reopened after a $13 million makeover, offering wider lanes and pedestrian sidewalks. Despite an 11-month delay due to construction challenges, Public Works Director Vince Ariola assures enhanced safety. Mayor Luis Rivera highlights improved access to Tumon. Further enhancements include streetlights and landscaping. An official grand opening is expected soon. And those are your local headlines on The Point. Now back to Ray. Is he there?
Putting for a road?
Oh, there he is.
Are you sure that's a good idea? All right. Well, we'll work on that and talk to the powers that be. I'm obviously very, very happy about it. Guys in the medical community are very happy about it as well. Vince Akimoto, Tom Shea. I mean, they got videos of these guys strolling up and down in the area, and the reason is they're going to use it to provide a little bit more ammunition to the conversation about where a hospital needs to go. And now that we've got this stretch of roadway that's all taken care of and rehabilitated, maybe that makes a whole lot more sense. So ambulances, especially the ones coming in from North and Central, can go straight down Marine Corps Drive and then take a turn down at JFK if they need to, take a turn down into the Hilton if they absolutely need to. We'll talk about traffic and more in just a couple of seconds. Ray Gibson Show, broadcasting live from Tokyo, continues in a moment.
KFC's $5 breakfast deals are the best and most affordable ways to start your day. The Colonel's Chicken and Rice Bowl, $5. Chicken fried steak, $5. Sausage, biscuit, and gravy, $5. And they all come with a fresh coffee. KFC $5 breakfast deals are served starting at 6 a.m. daily at your favorite KFC restaurant. KFC, it's finger licking good.
Choice Broadcasting and Lotte Hotel Guam present the 2024 Island Wedding Expo. Commit to showing up on May 19th. Join us in the Crystal Ballroom from 9 a.m. until 3 p.m. A lucky couple will have a chance to win a round trip to Japan, courtesy of United Airlines. They must be present to win, so stick around and enjoy some of our fine sponsors: Vince Jewelers, Arliss Wedding, The Glam Shop, Payless Floral, Wedding by Cha, Elle's Bridal, Island Color and Copy, Isla Jewelry, Oven Lovin', 11th Essence, DNA Custom Creations, The Dugout, Lotte Hotel, and so much more. May 19th. Save the date.
All right, must be time to take our first look at traffic. Don't see anything outside my window here at the MyStay in Akasaka. But traffic looks like it wants to start building up a little bit earlier on a Friday morning, especially up in the Dedado area. Already seeing a little bit heavier than normal intersection traffic up there. Nothing major at Anderson Air Force Base, southbound Marine Corps Drive as you pass by Paris Acres. Might get a little bit busy through there as well, but I don't see a whole lot further south from there that's going to slow you down. 1 and 3, a little bit of intersection traffic. Hardly anybody over at the Chicken Joy Micronesia Mall intersection. Route 16 down to 8, 10, and 16. Looking pretty live here this morning. Doesn't look like there's any major delays through there either. Marine Corps Drive from the Micronesia Mall into Upper Tumon and then regular Tumon and Tamuning. Looking pretty good. You will find some intersection traffic over by St. Anthony School. They got multiple car lines going on here, I guess, this morning, and looks like a little bit of traffic passing by the traffic nipple that we've got over at the GPO area. Otherwise, maybe a little bit of traffic. Yeah, from that side, everything else is looking good. Tomorrow into the downtown Agutya area, nothing major. From 8, 10, and 16, Route 8 and Route 4 are looking pretty good. We don't see anything else that's going to slow you down until you get around Adelup and in that area. That has been a red spot all morning long. Not sure what's taking place. Maybe going to be some police activity. You watch and see, and if you need to tell anybody about it, call Real Joe at 888-8255, and we'll put that notice on the radio. Only a little bit of traffic over at Big Navy and Sumai. That's it. Morning traffic, Friday morning traffic, as a matter of fact, right here on The Point.
Stay cool all year round by checking out Johnstone Supply for your HVAC and refrigeration needs. Located at 170 Guerrero Drive on Picanel Road in Tamuning, call Johnstone Supply today at 671-649-0581. That's 671-649-0581. Open 8 a.m. to noon and 1 to 5 p.m. Monday to Friday. Open Saturdays from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. and closed on Sundays. Stay cool with Johnstone Supply.
It used to be that cancer diagnosis meant off-island trips and complicated therapy. Scary words like chemo and radiation, but things are changing for the better. At Island Cancer Center, we've invested in cutting-edge radiation technology that targets just the cancer, which means lower dosages and fewer side effects with maximum results. Technicians with decades of experience working with state-of-the-art tools are ready to help you and your family now. We know you've got questions. Get the answers now. Visit islandcancercenter.com for more information. That's islandcancercenter.com. Our family treating your family.
Rediscover Talk Radio here. Your FM News Talk Superstation. This is The Point.
Oh, really? No, this is The Point. It's the Ray Gibson Show on 93.3 The Point, broadcasting from, where heck are we? Where on the planet are we? It's Akasaka, Japan, which is a subdivision in Tokyo. This would be, I was trying to sort it out with somebody. They were asking if I could describe Akasaka, and I said, it's not like the Gura of Tokyo by any stretch. Everything here looks expensive. And so we're walking around the place yesterday and get passed by a Ferrari of all things, and they have that kind of thing in the area. But I tell you what, as much as things kind of look expensive, with the yen at 155, I think it is today, all of a sudden there's all kinds of things that look like a bargain. Although I did go into a Lululemon store yesterday, and as it turns out, that's all still really, really, really expensive. Anyway, 6:42 in the morning, and pleasure to have accepted an invitation from former Governor Carl T.C. Guiares and the Guam Visitors Bureau to be a part of this inaugural day and this inaugural kind of weekend that we've got going on. We touched down Wednesday evening, and it was all go, no stop ever since. Meeting up with people and enjoying the company, as I say, of a massive delegation of people, to include obviously former Governor Carl T.C. Guiares. Good morning, Gov. How you doing?
Good morning, Ray. Good morning, Guam.
Move closer in the microphone. Everybody likes your
from,
voice.
Akasaka, Tokyo.
The Section 8 of Tokyo. don't
know.
Don't tell the ambassador I said.
Our hotel's name is My Stay.
I love it here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, and I'll tell you why I love it. So we first started setting things up, and I said, is there some place I might be able to plug in my Ethernet? And the word that I got from and some of the other people at GVB was, Ray, it's 2024. We don't use Ethernet in Japan. Everything is 5G or 4G or something like that. And so we've got some of the most sophisticated equipment available to make sure that we've got enough bandwidth to get from here back to Guam. So thanks to you and your people for getting that done. But this is a great hotel.
It really
7-Eleven downstairs?
Yeah, from the elevator, you're right into the 7-Eleven. And when we brought Emmy here last time, her favorite place it was Japan because we had snow and 7-Eleven.
I wouldn't be surprised if we had snow today. It's 49 degrees outside, or did they tell you?
I heard early morning.
Former Governor Carl T.C. Guiares, kind of leading a massive delegation here. Might be one of the biggest ones that I'm familiar with. So again, thanks very much for having us here. Using the new Haneda Guam route as kind of a platform to talk about some of the other things that are going on, some of the other things that are taking place here. First of all, last night, a get-together with the travel agents. I slow down on the word travel agents because I hardly ever use it anymore. I didn't realize that there was still a whole lot of call for travel agents in the business.
Yeah, absolutely. They're the ones that really promote, like new routes, for example. And United Airlines and GVB really put a plan together to make sure that what we have sought after for decades, getting a Haneda Guam flight, was to be kept and sustained.
Yeah.
And if we don't get together, I know that United Airlines, of course, we would like and we want to and continue to call them our hometown carrier. And as we get closer to each other, that thing will have some meaningful, definition of what a hometown carrier will be. And we are talking with United Airlines, the big boys of United Airlines, on many things that not only impact Guam directly, but the entire region. For example, when you spoke with some of the Marianas representatives here, we're talking about, cabotage waiver from CNMI in Guam, which is there, which hampers, for example, a foreign carrier coming from, say, Korea, Jeju, to Saipan, picking up passengers from there and bringing them to Guam, and likewise back to Saipan and on to Korea. That's the kind of waiver we're seeking. And in speaking with some of the big guys in United Airlines, I don't think they're going to interpose any objection to that, simply because, although, the old CAB and still carried forth the Essential Air Service, program where airlines can be designated by the federal government to fly to, as they did back during
the Air Mike story.
Well, first of all, Pan Am first, yes,
okay.
Pan Am, and then they got renewed, right? But Pan Am, that at that time was a pretty hefty Essential Air Service subsidy, where you fly whether you lose money or not to Kotzrai, Chuk, Yap, Guam, Saipan, and they will make up the difference. And so that kind of went away when we went away from the CAB. But there's still some fine, especially in the Alaska area where there's a remote islands. That thing plays big there on Essential Air Service. So
I thought there might be some opportunities with Alaskan Air when they took over Hawaiian Air to maybe be something of start looking over in this part of the Pacific and provide some regional service.
You think very fast, but that's exactly what we're talking about. There may be others that would want to come in here. It could be our own foreign aircraft. Airlines in Japan, Korea, Taiwan, that can avail themselves to this possibility. And so it may seem like what's the cabotage for just Guam and Saipan? When Jeju Air comes to Saipan and drops off passengers, they can't bring passengers from there to Guam.
Right.
Can you imagine that? And I don't think, like I said, United will not interpose any objection. They're charging you what it's costing them to fly Guam, Saipan, Guam.
Yes.
But
yes.
with this way, Jeju can pick up the Saipan passengers, take them to Guam, maybe $100 round trip.
Yeah.
So that's the benefit of what would happen when you have that kind of a waiver.
Right, and that might be tourists coming in from Saipan. They might be coming out, our brothers and sisters up in Saipan coming out to visit Guam. Might be some business travel between the two of them, but it's something that obviously that we need to work on. And so it's an important conversation that we'll spend more time talking about with the guys from the CNMI, which is kind of an unusual part of this trip. I've been on a couple with the GVB family, and it's always been just kind of us Guam folks. But we've got senators and representatives and mayors from the CNMI.
We've always been talking about Marianas, one Marianas, and this thing is going to expand out. Micronesia is what we're doing now. This cabotage waiver.
I'm loving the vision, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
And that this Blue Ocean, destination is what's going to, I think, to carry us to the next level. In speaking with Mayor Aubrey Hokok of Rhoda. She came in and I said, like an epiphany right there. Guam could do something, just put their money where their mouths are. And let's make Rhoda as an optional tour for Guam, not only for tourists coming in from Japan, Korea, everywhere else, but the military, morale, welfare, people, and we're talking about that. So hopefully on the 15th next week, we will launch the first couple of charters to bring these people over there to see exactly what we're talking about in optional tour in Rhoda.
Right.
For example, I know Mayor Hokok has already gotten her people together, and I said, this is going to be our...
It's so cultural, this idea.
And like they already got some families who are going to say, okay, in the morning you make your poni, which is the coconut that you kind of stink up for your bait for the coconut crabs.
Right.
Take the tourists out, show them how you place it out in the jungle, and then bring them back in the evening to get your flashlight and take a look at the crabs coming out. Don't touch them, but take a look at it. Take a look at the panini hanging over your overhead or the deer running around you, or take them out on reef walk in the evening and pick up some lobsters right alongside the roadside in Rhoda.
Real Joe tells me there's one of the things to do up in Rhoda is actually rod and reel casting off the cliff.
Many things, and families are now kind of cutting out their own niche of what area they would want, and Mayor Aubrey Hokok is just fantastic because she's so excited, and she's already had several meetings with her people in Rhoda.
Right.
And she's here.
Well, one of the things that we were talking about yesterday is filling in this time. Going back to the Haneda Guam run, it will arrive in Guam early in the morning, and depending on which hotel you're staying at or what kind of accommodations and arrangements you made for the hotel, you might not be able to check in until 1 or 2 or 3 in the afternoon. So if we had a way for them to go from the arrival gate for the Haneda flight, walk across the tarmac, and go to the commuter terminal, and then get on another plane that takes them to Rhoda, just a day trip up there.
That's correct. Those are the possibilities, and you'll notice that we have Mr. Ike Pareto here with Captain Roland Taidagui. These are the people that are coming here. That's one of the obstacles we had to get over to go from Rhoda to commuter terminal, and the charges for customs there. And also we're talking with the CBP because Saipan has to send someone to Rhoda from the Customs and Border Patrol, and they charged the Saipan government, to do that clearance there.
Yeah.
So we're working through all of these little nuances of travel between the islands of Saipan, Rhoda, Guam, Tinian, and that. So we have the people that are here that are going to have to cut through some of the red tape. So they're realizing just how important that you charge $8.89 to get your customs clearance or your customs
well, Ike and the guys need the business. They got to pay the rent, so they need the business over there. That and as well as to advance some of the tools that they need for the other jobs that they do. Let's talk about the reception that took place last night. As I said, we must have had about 100 travel agents in the room, and trying to number one, build some awareness. I had the opportunity to interview a couple of the guys from the agencies. There was one that's just crazy. He was bullish over the idea, and as a big round guy from a travel magazine and a travel agency at the same time. time. And he was really, really excited about the process. And he's been to Guam 3 or 4 times. And he was talking about how difficult it is and how time-consuming it is and how much planning is required to be able to, just decide, okay, I'm going to go to Guam, and then you got to get the ticket for the Shinkansen if you're taking the train or take a bus out to the airport. And it takes a long time. And so he was excited about the idea of being able to, at the izakaya with somebody else decide, hey, let's go to Guam. When's the flight? Tonight. It leaves at 11. Let's go. Because it's only, what did it say, 15 minutes from central Tokyo to the airport, and then you get to Guam, and it's 6 minutes to the beach. I love the marketing behind this. But helping build some of that awareness, I think, from the perspective of another travel agent was going to be super important. So whose job is that? Is this GVB's job, or is that going to be United's job?
Well, that's Soji and the group here in Spam, but we can't do it alone, and that's why the partnership with United Airlines. We give them incentives, and we kind of match our resources together. That's why we do these seminars. Occasionally, we go from Tokyo down to Nagoya, Osaka, Fukuoka, and bring the travel agents together and give them all these different things that we can do together with United. Like, for example, the southern routes of Fukuoka, we got to continue to prop that up. We don't want to lose any United flight. It's just so hard to get it back on again. So we're doing everything we can from the GVB standpoint. The board of directors of GVB love the idea that we still need to subsidize, the one carrier that's doing all of these, investment and risks, that we got to share the risk, we got to share the cost sometimes. And if you saw last night, that's how much United came out, and we partnered last night on the reception. Tonight we will do our reception and bring all the big guys from Haneda, the one we visited a year and a half ago with Ricky Hernandez and Frank Santos and Mai from GVB, and spoke to them about the possibility that Guam is this close of getting an Haneda flight. So their message to me at that time was, you get your government to agree, and I will sign it right away. And they did. They're coming tonight. They're going to come tonight to see and celebrate with us what they did in facilitating the movement of getting United that route from Haneda to Guam.
We know that there are going to be at least 8 people on the upcoming flights from Haneda to Guam. Big giveaways at the reception last night. A couple from the guys over at United and Hyatt Regency Guam. Thank you, Sophie. And then here comes Uncle Carl with, you know what? I've got 3 more sets of tickets to give away. And if you can't stay over at Hyatt, you can stay over at my house. What's the name of the new guy over at Crown? Akima-san, who was out there last night, and I think he volunteered a couple of spaces over at
I don't think he no, I just said you got to give out 3 more rooms.
Carl Guiares volunteered the Crown for some of the other incoming guests. I think that's going to be great. Now, speaking of incoming, one of the things that you and I talked about, I remember we were at the the restaurant where we like to have our China cabinet meetings, and we were talking about the idea of a homecoming tour for Guamanians that live in the States. Not just Guamanians, Saipanese, and folks from the CNMI that would like to come back to Guam. And I know that they had kind of launched the program, and we had a couple of fits and starts trying to get GVB and United in the studio for the in-studio interview. But if you don't mind, can you update me on how that's coming along?
I think it's going so well that from what I hear, United Guam Ticket Office is getting overwhelmed.
Good.
People that are, because they have to email into the Guam Ticket Office or make phone calls. And they don't have that many people on it, so we're trying to say, Paula, please, Paula, I'm the one that's getting all these calls from the United States that they're not getting a call back as quickly as they would like, so they want to book. But we have, I'm telling you, it's Cory, as they say in Guam. It's hot sell, is what I mean. People are wanting to come out, and I know there were several hundred that already been booked, there are more waiting in line.
Wow.
And our goal was 3,000, 2,000, maybe 3,000. I just hope that United by the end of May, because June 1st it ends the booking. And we want to make sure, put more people, so they're putting people on overtime also to be able to ticket these people that are calling in and emailing. So it is hot stuff for the homecoming.
So if you're listening in the United States mainland, or really anywhere else on the planet, but mostly the United States mainland, if you want to get more information on this, you can ring up GVB or send them on their website an email. But your primary contact really should be with United Airlines.
The United Airlines, it's on the website. You call, and sometimes it's a little confusing, but it's there. And so Paula's doing a wonderful job. I mean, she's got authorization to pay overtime for her girls, right? But she got to get more people in there. Paula, come on, please.
All right. Now, as usual, whenever I've got you on, there's at least one or two guys that chime in from over on the YouTube viewership that say, Carl, come on, tell me about Taiwan. What are we going to be? What's it going to take to get more airline seats, more capacity?
The key here is May 20th. In the next week or two is the inauguration of the new president. I've already met with the chief of staff of the legislative side, whose father was the Secretary of Defense of Taiwan, and he came to Guam by their circuitous route of Korea, so there, and it just took him 19 hours to get to Guam. And he sat there with me, and he says, hey, this is not going to get it.
Yeah.
So you know that the legislature in Taiwan is opposite the presidential party. So the two have to get together. I mean, they're like this, right? And so he says, okay, we'll do something about it. So he's got the legislative side saying right after the inauguration of the president on May 20 and the new legislature, they're already in the legislature, but the president, we're going to talk about China Airlines getting their butts off the dime. And I hope that United, the request we've been making for almost a year and a half now to the powers that be in Chicago, is to initiate the United Airlines flight to Taiwan and back. And so they're discussing it, and they gave me an idea of maybe subsidizing it, and I'm not ready to do that. We just don't have that money. But if they would do that, it'd solve a lot of problems. But China Airlines, I believe, is going to be on the carpet after May 20th to start flying. Their three new aircraft, A321neo, just came in.
Wow.
And so they were going to dedicate that at least 2 flights first and then 4 flights a week.
I wish I had more time. I might ask you back in between now and the end of our program here at 9 o'clock in the morning Guam time, because there's a couple of other things that I want to ask you about. Once we solve the Taiwan issues and the like, maybe there's some other quests that we can go on while you're still in charge of everything over at GVB.
Wow.
Former Governor Carl T.C. Guiares, always an interesting conversation. We've got news and headlines coming up in just moments from the Fox News Network on KUSG Gutnia.
Business records to hide payments made to Daniels ahead of the 2016 election. One of the next witnesses was former White House executive assistant Madeleine Westerhout.
She got emotional on the stand talking about positive memories she has about Trump and his family. She spoke about Trump's relationship with Melania, saying it was one of mutual respect. She told the court that she thinks Trump is being treated unfairly.
Fox's Nate Foy at State Supreme Court in Lower Manhattan. In federal court in Manhattan, a financial executive convicted on all counts for tipping others about the merger plan to take the former president's media company public. Bruce Gerlich's co-defendants pleaded guilty before trial, admitting they made over $22 million illegally. The former president was not accused of any wrongdoing in that case. The Biden administration still calling a commitment to Israel's defense ironclad, even as certain bombs are withheld over concern about a major ground offensive in the southern Gaza city of Rafah.
We have paused one shipment, and of course we're continuing to discuss with Israeli officials their plans as it relates to Rafah and addressing the Hamas threat.
Pentagon spokesman Major General Pat Ryder, a White House advisor, says President Biden supports the goal of eliminating the threat of Hamas, but doesn't think smashing Rafah, as he put it, would lead to an enduring defeat. Senate Republicans plan a resolution condemning a weapons hold. The Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu saying today they will press on with their offensive in Gaza. America is listening to Fox News.
Stay cool all year round by checking out Johnstone Supply for your HVAC and refrigeration needs. Located at 170 Guerrero Drive on Picanel Road in Tamuning, call Johnstone Supply today at 671-649-0581. That's 671-649-0581. Open 8 a.m. to noon and 1 to 5 p.m. Monday to Friday. Open Saturdays from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. and closed on Sundays. Stay cool with Johnstone Supply.
JV International Safety Equipment has it all for you. Fall protection, rain gear, traffic signs, speed bumps, custom signs and banners, PPEs, fire extinguishers, plus more. Check them out on Facebook at JV International Safety Equipment Company or visit their website, www.jvisec.com. JV International Safety Equipment, Guam's leader in occupational and environmental safety equipment. Call 688-9524. JV International Safety Equipment, located in Harmon Industrial Park.
A man acquitted in a case involving Michigan's governor is running for public office.
Eric Molitor was found not guilty last fall of supporting a plot to kidnap Governor Gretchen Whitmer over her pandemic lockdown policies. Now he wants to be the sheriff of Wexford County in northwest Michigan. He's filed papers to run in the Republican primary this August. He promises, if elected, he will not enforce the state's red flag law that allows confiscation of someone's weapons if they're thought to be a threat to themselves or others. About the Whitmer kidnap plot, Molitor says it was a government setup perpetuated by FBI agents and their informants. Jack Callahan, Fox News.
The WNBA champions visit the White House. The Las Vegas Aces, the first WNBA team in more than 20 years to win back-to-back titles. President Biden saying the nation needs to support women's sports.
It matters to girls and women finally seeing themselves represented, and it matters to all of America. That's why, as a nation, we need to support women's sports.
Republicans had criticized proposed Title IX changes that could stop schools from banning transgender athletes in women's sports. That provision, though, was put on hold. Mr. Brightside lives on.
Even though the song never reached #1 on the charts, the Killers' hit, Mr. Brightside, is a new record breaker in the UK. 2 decades after its release, the song is named the biggest ever single, which didn't snag a UK #1. Mr. Brightside was initially released in 2003 and was reissued in May 2004, peaking at #10. The track failed to reach the coveted #1 spot, but has been on the official UK singles chart for 408 weeks, almost 8 years. Monica DeLuca, Fox News.
A rally on Wall Street, the Dow up more than 300 points. Elisa Brady, this is Fox News.
Celebrating Burger King's 35th anniversary, Whopper Wednesday is back. Every Wednesday in May, visit any Burger King restaurant, say, "I love the Whopper," and get a free flame-grilled Whopper sandwich with the purchase of any large-size Whopper combo meal. Top off your meal with French fries, onion rings, or halvesies, and a refreshing Coca-Cola. Tell your family and friends, and enjoy your Whopper Wednesday only in May. Available at BK Tumon Bay, Hagåtña, Micronesia Mall, and the airport. Thank you, Guam, for 35 years from your friends at Burger King. You rule.
Introducing My Rewards from 76 Circle K, a new and exciting way to fuel your savings. Get rewarded while purchasing your favorite items like Circle K coffee, Polar Pop, hot dogs, and more. Save 25 cents off per gallon and fuel your savings with My Rewards. Download the My Rewards Guam app. 25 cents off per gallon is valid for up to 20 gallons. One time per day. Certain exclusions apply. Visit 76circlekguam.com for more details.
May 19th, save the date for Choice Broadcasting and Lotte Hotel Guam's Island Wedding Expo. Free admission. Join us in the Crystal Ballroom from 9 a.m. until 3 p.m. for refreshments, raffles, and a fun passport stamping for a couple to win a flyaway courtesy of United Airlines. The couple must be present to win. Special thanks to some of our fine sponsors: Perfect View 360, Stell Star Productions, Weddings by Jane, The Occasion, Modern Nen, Tentata, DJ Booth and Lighting, Michaela Winters Photography, Say Media, Rustic Poppy Photography, and so many more. May 19th, it's the Island Wedding Expo.
Your 7 o'clock local news is brought to you by AB Risk Solutions.
Today at 7:06, I'm Donna De Jesus. Here's a look at your local news on The Point. Samson Shapusi pleaded guilty to manslaughter for fatally stabbing Kiefertson Aiken with a fishing spear in August of 2022. The incident, captured on video, showed an altercation at the Dedido Center on Woostig Road, leading to Aiken's death. Shapusi's plea agreement includes a sentencing range of 5 to 15 years, scheduled for August 23. Judge Vern Perez questioned the fairness of the plea deal, considering the circumstances and evidence. Shapusi's co-defendants, Cyrus Matthias, Allison Joe, and Darrow Isti also appeared in court, awaiting the outcome of Shapusi's case before proceeding. And the AG's office plans to deport 40 foreign nationals convicted of various crimes, including manslaughter and sexual assault. AG Doug Moylan aims to free up space in correctional facilities and prevent re-entry to the U.S. The AG's office issues letters to inmates with ICE detainers covering deportation costs. Those not covered will be funded through various means. Convicts can accept amendments to expedite deportation or face reincarceration upon reentry with post-deportation bench warrants. More news after this.
Whoever said no risk, no reward has never been sued. Hi, I'm Dave Silva from AB Risk Solutions, and our job for over 70 years has been to help businesses just like yours manage risk. Manage risk? We will never be able to totally eliminate the myriad of risks every business faces, but we can help you manage them and recover when disaster strikes. From mom and pop operations to high-rise hotels, we're the experts businesses have counted on for many years. Call me today at 777-2668 for a free risk review and consultation.
AB Risk Solutions, formerly known as Aon.
Governor Lou Leon Guerrero recently signed 5 bills into law. Bill 262 approves terms for GPA bonds refunding. Bill 85 extends family care and medical leave for miscarriages and stillbirths. Bill 198 mandates driver's handbook distribution to public and charter high schools. Bill 211 prioritizes FAFSA application completion for high school seniors. And Bill 244 grants fee waivers for Guam ID cards for high school juniors and seniors, foster children, and senior citizens. And Guam anticipates receiving $80 million in Section 3 reimbursements for fiscal year 2025, $4 million more than last year. Assistant Secretary Carmen Cantor says these funds from income tax paid by military and federal personnel on Guam play a vital role in the economy, the island's economy. Congressman Jim Moylan praised the increase, foreseeing growth due to federal activity. Vice Speaker Tina Munoz Barnes proposed bills to allocate funds for safety, medical tuition, and healthcare workforce retention. Moylan also introduced requests to bolster Insular Affairs budget by $4.4 million and allocate an extra $16 million for Guam. And those were your top stories. Back to Ray with weather.
Okay. I'm gonna give you the weather. I'm sorry. Tina's Vice Speaker Tina Rose Munoz Barnes, which is probably the last time I'm gonna be as formal, is with me right now. We're shooting the bull about the differences between when I first saw her in the restaurant the other day. She was talking with the mayor of Tinian. And I'm looking at the guy going, man, that guy looks like your brother-in-law, looks like JQ. And then she got to talking about how once upon a time, JQ, what did he say? Does Donna know that he said this?
She does.
Okay, she knows, okay.
He says it all the time.
That he was supposed to marry the other twin?
He was trying to date me.
You.
But married Donna.
You know why? Because you're also a baseball player. You got some of that stuff going on. Anyway,
well, hey, you still remember.
I do remember. All right, what do we got for weather here? Real Joe sent it to me a little bit earlier. It's 49, maybe 50 degrees here in Tokyo right now, but in Guam it is supposed to be 89 degrees today. East-northeast winds 8 to 13 miles an hour. I got mostly sunny skies in the forecast all day long. Mostly cloudy by this evening with overnight lows of about 78 degrees. Saturday, mostly sunny again, highs near 88 degrees, partly cloudy at night. Mostly sunny Sunday on Mother's Day with highs near 88 degrees and overnight about 78 degrees, partly cloudy in the evening hours as well. 20% chance of rain today, so expect not a whole lot by way of getting wet. With the heat index, everything is going to feel like 92 degrees over the next couple of days, so dress for it, prepare for it. I'm thinking beachy weather. Sunrise this morning was at 5:56. Sunset tonight should be about 6:38. Hashtag tell the others. There it is. News and weather together on 93.3. This is The Point.
I'm Jen from Guam.
Morgan, I'm Tina from Yap.
I'm Joy from Chuk.
And we want to invite you to
GMIF 2024.
The Guam Visitors Bureau brings you the 36th Annual Guam Micronesia Island Fair on June 1st and 2nd at Ipao Beach Park. The fun starts at noon and continues until 10 p.m. Join us for a weekend of food, art, and entertainment from all the islands. Don't miss out. Let's bring our islands together and regenerate Micronesia. The GMIF 2024, another GVB signature event.
Yeah, that is kind of a big deal. Might spend some time talking about that as well. We just played the GMIF PSA, the promo for the Island Festival, and I think that's going to be another one of these opportunities to showcase the concept of, what did you say it was, Un Marianas? Un Marianas, maybe Un Micronesia. One is something we've been chasing for a long, long time. Ray Gibson from Tokyo, and the portions of the broadcast made possible by APL. They brought all my stuff here. American President Lines, a global presence with a local home.
It's the Ray Gibson Show. Call now, 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
If you were watching on screen, there's an image of former Governor Carl T.C. Guiares and I standing at the very, very top of this massive building in Roppongi, and in the background is the Tokyo Tower. Wow. And from that vantage, we're the same size. Uncle Carl and I and the Tokyo Tower were the same height at the thing yesterday. I mentioned that in the first hour of the broadcast, where I got into the elevator on the first floor of this building, and it had two buttons, 1 and 34. And when you got up to the 34th floor, that's where the big reception was. And among the very first people that were allowed to speak in English, because otherwise this was a big get-together that was put together to be able to communicate to Japanese travel agents. And the first person, I think, to be able to speak English to them was Vice Speaker Tina Rose Munya-Barch, who's with me this morning.
Manana Sizuas Ray, thank you for having me. And yes, it was indeed an honor to be able to speak last night to the travel agencies.
Well, you woke them up.
I were there.
I got to tell you, because otherwise, this is a very polite and almost subdued Japanese conversation between the guys and everybody in the audience. And here comes Tina, comes up, says, "Half a day!" And everybody, I think you shook the building as well.
Well, I know they were excited, Ray, and I just want to say thank you to the Guam delegation. When we look at recovery, right, from what we've been through last year, Guam Visitors Bureau has not stopped working. And with the president, former Governor Carl T.C. Guiares, which I always call Uncle Carl, I want to say, he's a visionary man. He's all-inclusive. He talks about the Un Marianas, one Marianas, and just bringing all of us together, right, to see how we can bring our tourists back to Guam, our Japanese family, tourists, to come back to see our island and to experience the beauty that we have. And I just want to say, man, it's so great to see all the travelers. And then he got them all excited because he was giving away the hotel stays, and with the help of United, Hyatt, and Crown, and everybody just all of a sudden is like, wow.
Well, don't forget Auntie Jerry, because he also included. He said, "Look, if you can't find accommodations anywhere, you can stay at my place."
Yes.
And I'm like, well, wait a second, I want to stay at your house. Food's good.
When he said that, I turned around to my colleague and said, "That is Uncle Carl to a T." And anyone who wants to have that kind of experience will literally love the island of Guam with all their heart, because he is amazing.
Yeah,
the food is amazing too.
What I appreciated about last night was even he didn't bother with the translations. He got the audience all charged up and excited just by himself. But it reminded me of the original way that we did tourism on Guam, and I talk about it all the time because I think it's an important component that we've managed to forget in all of the years where we've reached out for a more sophisticated hospitality approach. I like low tech, high touch. I like it when you're there on the stage with the microphone and you're enthusiastic and you as you say, from the heart, inviting people, in this case, inviting these travel agents to trust us with their customers. And I thought that was a big deal. I think that's a high touch approach that we don't see too much anymore. I think now it comes down to send an email and have a consultant take care of everything. But when you've got former Governor Guiares here, when you've got the Speaker of the Legislature, Vice Speaker of the Legislature in the building, and former committee chair of the Hospitality Committee at the Legislature, I think that says a lot about our commitment to these travel agents.
It definitely does, and in this region, Ray, people want to see that true commitment. And when you bring a delegation as large as we did, what we're doing right now,
two buses out at high season in Tokyo, for them to be able to get two buses to bring our butts from Narita to the city. I thought that was impressive.
But it is that important because people want to know, the government wants to know, the community wants to know, the vendors want to know. They all want to know how much are you committed in working with us and us being partners with you. And we go back to the basics. Speaking from the heart, inviting from the heart, sharing the hospitality from the heart. And if that's one thing I can say about our former Governor Carl Guiares, he's still the one. He still has it, you know. And I see the team here. They're working day and night. And I thought I sleep late. These guys are still working after
I don't think they sleep when GVB is in town. I don't think they sleep. A little bit later on, we'll have an interview with a fellow named Sochan Higuchi. He is the head and the third generation owner. It's a family-owned business that Shinsu does, and they represent GVB in Japan. I mean, it's an excellent kind of marketing and strategy and execution group, and so we'll have an opportunity to talk to them about the relationship and some of the things that they'd like to see more of for Guam. I think it's going to be fun. Now, in addition to Tina Rose being out here for this delegation, we've got Telo Taitigui from the Republican side. So it's nice that we've got both parties that are unified here to send out the same message. And I'm sure that you're familiar with your counterparts from the CNMI.
Yes, I am.
Who are out here, who you shared a whole lot of time with. Did you get a chance to talk to them about some of the things that they need in the CNMI and that we might be able to provide?
Well, I was really impressed with Mayor Aubrey Hokuk from Rhoda because she talked about the commitment that Guam had and how former Governor Guiares literally took the time to saying, what do we need to make this Un Marianas work for our tourism industry to grow? And she said that he literally he really facilitated everything through, got everything to work, and she said it was almost like a snap, you know what, if this is what you need, I'm going to give it to you, and I'm going to work with you, and I'm going to work with your Visitors Bureau, and I'm going to do what it takes to visit not just Saipan, but Rhoda and Tinian.
Yeah.
And, you know, I didn't solicit that. She just came and shared with me, and she said to be invited with this delegation was probably the best thing that could happen for the islands together as one.
Yeah, well, and
that really touched my heart.
She's not alone, but I agree with you. Kind of an impressive individual. Senator Selena Babauta also coming in. She's the legislative secretary, and kind of reminds me of you. You know, I did a little bit of research about her, and among the things that I found out was, you know, their government's not doing well. I mean, you know, the allegations of this, that, and the other, and the downturn in the economy, and quite a number of people had to take a cut in pay and that kind of thing. And she was among the first, like I said, kind of reminds me of you, among the first that said, you know what, I can't in good faith take this salary. So I think she's declined, if not the whole thing, a large percentage of it as a result, like I said, of the downturn. That's, if you ask me, leadership by example. Representative Ed Probst is here as well. He's another interesting fella and fun to watch up in the, you know, I'm sure that you've got your legislative watching time in the CNMI. So can't help but not take your eyes off those guys, right?
Well, you know, they have a journey to work with, and I know they're coming through, and I believe in my heart that with them coming out here with us and seeing what we can do and work together will be very successful for both this NMI, CNMI, and Guam.
Are you a little bit jealous because they got a bicameral system out there? They got a House and they've got the Senate.
Brother Ray, we've talked about this decades ago. I've been in the legislature since 2002, and I want to say that conversation has been brought up more than several occasions.
Would we need to make an Organic Act change if we wanted to go in that direction?
Yes, that has to be done because the Organic Act specifies how the legislature
up to 21 senators, right?
It used to be 21. Then in 1996 it went down to 15, I think.
Let's go back to 21, but make it part-time.
I don't have a problem with that.
What?
Give it to the people to vote for.
What? Oh, referendum? Well, we got too many other referendum conversations that we need to have, and I don't know that we're going to have any of them in this year. Speaking of work, I saw where the governor has decided that she is going to, as I think the guys over at KUM or Post put it, she trashed the universal trash pickup bill that you guys had sent out, that you guys at the legislature worked on in the last week or two, and it went to her desk, and she's apparently vetoed that measure. Your thoughts?
I haven't read the news yet this morning, but if she did veto it, I think it would be because of not those who can't afford the monopolies who couldn't afford it.
Exactly.
You know, and that conversation was brought up, and I did have the same concerns, and I really thought that there was going to be an amendment in play or another bill introduced right away, but that hasn't been so. So I think our colleagues really need to revisit that.
Well,
especially with that. Especially with that
but the concern that I have is, as a ratepayer with GSWA, I've got issues on both sides of the conversation. But as a ratepayer with GSWA, I don't like the idea that if we don't go to something universal, that if we don't lay this expense before everybody, the subscribers that they do have, a.k.a. Ray Gibson, is going to have to pay more. You too, right?
Yes.
You too. And for me, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense because it's just me and the cat at the house most of the time, and we don't generate all that much trash. At any rate, so we got that. There's another measure that you brought up, and Tina did her homework. She's like, oh my God, he's been looking at the bills I introduced. There's one in particular that is kind of interesting to me, and that I think some of our listeners, because we're all like news junkies, and there was a time where you could pick up a Guam Daily Post and read it, and then pick up a PDN and read it, and now you have to go online to read the PDN, and I think that made some changes to their business environment, because a chunk of the business that they got at PDN was charging government agencies, departments, and different groups for public notices.
Mm-hmm.
They can't do that anymore because legally they're not a newspaper of record. They don't meet the same requirements that are in the existing law. You're changing that now. I'm excited about that because it allows me an opportunity down the road, maybe, to be able to get some of that notice money as well.
Yeah, and I want to share with you, Ray, that Bill 295-37 extends the publication requirements to a greater number of local medias, media companies, including newspapers, electronic edition, and the news website, in addition to existing allowances for printed newspapers and television or radio stations that are licensed to do business on Guam.
Yeah.
So before that didn't happen, and when we look at the open government law, right, that was created, what, 50
Bob
years
Klitsky's
ago?
listening, careful.
50 years ago, I'm going to say that. I could be wrong, I don't know. And that was when a time when we couldn't even imagine if we were going to have internet like this. And now that we do, right?
Everything's changed.
Yeah, everything continues to grow, become faster. And now, before we were back with pagers, Motorola phones and all that. Today, we a touch of a button. Pretty soon it's going to be a
But what'd you say,
paper.
pagers? You remember the old code? 143 means I love you. 724. Jerry Roberts is in the studio. He's going to do the extra point. But just one more question about a measure. Actually, there's a couple of measures that you've got here that seek to improve access to health care.
Yes, one of the measures, access to health care. Can you remind? I have several. Because one that comes to mind real fast is the Professional Student Exchange Program, where we give funding to those who want to go into the medical arena, with 14 different disciplines, working closely with WICHE, which is the Western Interstate Commission for Higher Education. We can realize for our students who want to venture into that anywhere between 39 and 150-some thousand per program, and it literally gives an opportunity to have our students go to the West Coast and work closely with WICHE and pay almost resident state tuition, which makes it so much easier. You know, Ray, that I have a nephew who was a doctor, Nia, my sister, and her son is paying up the wing-wang just for medical tuition. And what better way than for us to continue to work closely with the Guam Community College, work with WICHE, and then give an opportunity for our students. We have already worked that program. WICHE has worked closely with us. I got to give a shout out to Teresa Ariola from Behavioral Health, because they literally tapped into a WICHE program that gives them an opportunity to send train the experts that need to be there for behavioral health, and then come and work with us. So hats off to WICHE too. But now we've included the Guam Community College, so if anybody is interested out there.
Well, we get a hold of you first and get the measure passed, and we've got to do that first.
Well, no. Well, we do have a WICHE program for the undergraduate program. And then we have the Professional Student Exchange Program, which was implemented. And then now we have a cohort of 9 possible doctors that can come home and work when they go through this program. If they choose to go through this program, do their studies, and then come back. The catch is they have to come back and serve our time.
As it should be, I think, especially if they're going to be taking advantage of some taxpayer dollars. Studio time, 7:27 in. I'm sorry, is it? Wait, it is 7:27, right? I'm lost in my time zones. Somewhere it is. There's the voice of Jerry Roberts getting ready for the Extra Point. Tina, thanks so much for the time. We'll talk again before you're all done with the trip. Ray Gibson here from the My Stay Hotel in Agasaka. Nice place, Jerry. I think you'd like it.
No.
Sorry to keep you waiting. It's time
it's okay.
for a very
No, wait.
It is okay.
I'm not ready yet. I'm
well,
adding,
okay. Well,
I'm adding something to my daily. I'm adding the term "wing wang" to my daily lexicon. It's a scientific term, no doubt.
Yes. Well, I mean, they're doctors. We were talking about doctors and nurses and health professionals. I'm sure they're familiar with that particular piece of anatomy as well.
What it is.
It's a very special Extra Point with Jerry Roberts.
Because I was thinking that maybe the students that are protesting, maybe we could wing wang them somewhere.
Wing wang.
It was just
this very special Friday version of the Extra Point is brought to you by First Hawaiian Bank. Thanks for making me laugh. Jerry Roberts,
sir.
What's going on?
The world is a chaotic place, Ray Gibson, and seems to be falling into greater chaos with each passing day. How do we make sense of all this? How do we move forward when so many in our society seem to be going the other way? Well, we will now prepare to take on the scourge of chaos next on the Extra Point.
Get closer to your next adventure with the United credit card from First Hawaiian Bank. Every dollar spent can help you earn miles towards your upcoming trip. Earn 2 times the miles for $1 spent on gas, groceries, and United Airlines tickets. And earn 1 mile for every dollar spent on all other qualifying purchases. Plus, there's no expiration on the miles you've earned. Get on board with the First Hawaiian Bank United credit card. It all starts with yes. Terms and conditions apply. To learn more, visit any First Hawaiian Bank branch or go to fhb.com/United.
At APL, their expertise and extensive network can help you grow your business and reach out to more global markets. As a responsible carrier, APL is also committed to a sustainable future, whether it's protecting the environment or investing their efforts in giving back to the community. APL's dedicated team in Guam and the U.S. mainland are here to support you. Call 588-4651 or visit apl.com.
The term is chaos, and let's see what some notable folks had to say about it. Number one, these are quotations, by the way. Out of chaos, find simplicity. Albert Einstein, the math guy, said that. When Einstein came out with out of chaos, find simplicity, he was expressing his scientific and philosophical approach. Einstein believed in the power of simplifying complex issues to uncover fundamental principles and the underlying order to things. We need to do the same in our teams. Break things down and get to the basics, making sure that you're not losing people along the way. Number two, Henry Adams, historian, said chaos was the law of nature. Order was the dream of man. That dream sometimes turned into a nightmare, eh? Number three, chaos is the law of nature. Yeah, and order is the dream of man. So I guess that was the same thing. John Updike had that as well. He's the writer. Number four, chaos is the beginning of all great things. Orson Welles, actor and director. Number five, from Terry Pratchett, author and satirist, chaos is found in greatest abundance wherever order is being sought. It always defeats order because chaos is better organized. Number six, no attribution on this one. Chaos is what happens when the truth is too difficult to comprehend. When people can't, or maybe won't, reason their way through lies and deception to get to truth. Chaos, well, that's pretty much all that's left for them. Next one up is from Jay Sammet, digital media innovator. Embrace chaos and uncertainty as the catalyst for business breakthroughs. Lyndon Naiman, author, said, number seven, creativity often emerges from the chaos of ideas and colliding and connecting. It's the nature of brainstorming, isn't it? Ideas flying around, trying to find a reason to hook up to other ideas. I love the phrase, ideas colliding and connecting. Unknown to this one, no attribution. Number 8, the greatest leaders are those who can navigate through chaos with clarity and purpose. And the last 4, also with no attribution, except for one. The last 4 are meaningful for every worker, regardless of your position. If your career is something you care about, these thoughts can make a difference for you. Here we go. Number 9, chaos is an opportunity to disrupt the status quo and create new possibilities. 10, in a rapidly changing business environment, adaptability. Adaptability is the key to survival amidst chaos. Number 11, this one has attribution, Sun Tzu, the author and warrior. In the midst of chaos, there is also opportunity. Yeah, when things are flying around and nobody knows what's going on, and it is chaotic, and people just are going, the sky is falling in. That's your opportunity if you can keep your head to make something happen, make something big happen for you and for your organization. And number 12, again, no attribution. Here we go. A successful career is built not by avoiding chaos, but by mastering it. Chew on that for a while. That's the extra point. Be responsible and make something good happen today. Could there be a good chaos? For 93.3 FM, The Ray Gibson Show and First Hawaiian Bank. I'm Jerry Roberts.
I think there's good chaos anytime that we get together. I think there's there's a vibe, there's a frequency, and I got a vibe and a frequency happening in here in Akasaka and in Tokyo. I got to tell you, Jeremy, from a business perspective, it was nice to be in a room with a bunch of travel agents, about 100 of them last night, that were all pretty excited, jazzed about it. They are referring to this now as a game changer for them and their customers, especially obviously the ones in the I was going to say the Tumon area, but the Tokyo area, where there's an incredible number of people that are literally minutes away from Haneda, and then available to avail themselves of a short ride to Guam, and within a few minutes of landing, you could be at the beach.
Is there any indication?
Toes in the sand, all that.
Yeah, is any indication yet about how many people are going to switch out of Narita? And the Japanese there, in Tokyo, how many people will switch from Narita and go from Haneda? I mean, what percentage of flights are available to them there? Destinations and things.
Well, I mean, in terms of destinations, I don't know about making some kind of a switch. I don't know that kind of research has been done. You do know that what have we got here? 15 million people within just a few minutes of Haneda. There are other parts. Yeah, I mean, there's other parts, outskirts of Tokyo, if you will, and maybe those guys might be a little bit closer to it. If I was over by where Disneyland is, it's 50. It's a half. So it's the same ride in either direction, but the novelty of being able to fly out. I was also asking if there might be a little bit of a, for among a certain population of Tokyoites, maybe taking this trip on Haneda will be somewhat nostalgic, because for a long time ago, that was how you got to Guam. You flew out of Haneda. We didn't have all the other source markets, the sub-source markets to fly out of. You took a train to Tokyo, and then you went to Haneda, and then you came to Guam. That's how they did it back in the day.
Yeah.
Maybe some nostalgia. Although one of the guys that I asked that question of, one of the travel agents I asked of that question of, says, yeah, you could do that, but it was a whole different airline back in those days. Back in those days, it was Japan Airlines, et cetera, and maybe it's all different. Hey, gotta go. Gotta get some folks from the CNMI I want to spend some time talking to, so I'll let you run. Jerry Robertson, this morning's Extra Point, brought to you by First Hawaiian Bank. Oh, news, right? We do news? Oh, sorry, lost my place in the script. Okay. Wait. Quick question for Donna. Which Harry Potter district are you from?
Ravenclaw.
Ravenclaw.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, see now, yeah. No, all right. So yesterday had coffee at Tully's Cafe. Does that mean something to you, the Howard Potter people? Whose cafe? Tully. It was Tully Cafe. Is that a character in the book or the movie?
I don't remember that.
I'm talking to Donna.
I don't remember anything.
You don't remember anything. So I bought you something there, and I was warned, but it was the only one available. It's not like they had all the other schools. But would you wear a Gryffindor scarf if magically it came to Guam for Mother's Day?
Probably. Yes.
Probably.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Everybody wants to be in Gryffindor.
Then I don't have to worry about getting you any other omiyage from
Joe
Don't forget me, man. I'm a single dad.
I know you are. I know you are, and so just for you, there's a donkey around here where I might go to the Tengu aisle. Anyway, 7:37 in the morning. Less of that, more of after these. After news with Donna D being brought to you by Hafaday Realty and the guys over at Burger King celebrating 35 years. Donna, what's the big news today?
Timothy Sarabor, accused in a March armed carjacking at Ocapelas, will go to trial on the 22nd. Sarabor and co-defendant John Peter Babauta Jr. stole a car from a family at gunpoint, threatening to shoot the man if he didn't comply. Babauta drove away with the vehicle while Sarabor had drugs in his possession. Police found the weapon loaded with 8 bullets. Both defendants remain in custody awaiting trial. And Governor Lulian Guerrero recently vetoed 2 bills amid fiscal concerns. Bill 165 aimed to mandate trash collection subscriptions for residential buildings but lacked immediate financial assistance details for low-income residents. Bill 234 sought to increase rental payment pledges for a new corrections facility, risking fiscal strain. Leon Guerrero emphasized the bill's failure to address funding. And a new app launched by UOG is offering augmented reality to explore Hagåtña in 1890. Bisita Historic Guam is an augmented reality tool that lets users explore the city's Spanish colonial-era streets and landmarks using digital reconstruction. The app is available in English and Spanish. Future plans involve expanding to other historical periods and adding more languages for tourists. And those are your local headlines. Back to Ray.
Okay, thanks very much. You're just rearranging chairs around here. I thought I'd be interviewing people one at a time, but as it turns out, we've got an incredible delegation from the CNMI, and in front of me right now, I've got Senator Selena Babauta, then Senator Don Manglotña. Do I have to say the whole name? I can Manalang, but I'm not sure if I'm saying Manalang right. And Ed Probst, who are joining me right now, and maybe a little bit later on, we'll see if we can scare up some more folks from the CNMI. We're going to dedicate this next part of the program talking to folks in the actual CNMI government, at the legislature and the House and the Senate that they've got there. A couple of mayors are available, and we'll spend some time with them in the next hour of the program, because I think while there are similarities in what they do, I think some of the things that we talk about on the ground at the mayoral level are different. And if I get lucky, I might also have some time to get one of our own mayors on the line here and in a pre-recorded interview. That's the mayor of Inalohan, Tony Chargaloff, who was going to be joining us via tape a little bit later on. In the meantime, let me grab a quick break and come back with the senators and representatives next.
Remind Mom that she's special by giving her a Cold Stone treat this Mother's Day. Try their tiramisu ice cream cake, layers of moist yellow cake, coffee and cheesecake ice cream with graham crackers, wrapped in a cascading fudge ganache. Call in, visit them at their GPO or Micronesia Mall locations, or order in advance at coldstonecreamery.com. To all the moms out there, thanks for all that you do. From Cold Stone Creamery, the ultimate ice cream cake experience.
Everyone has a busy schedule these days, and sometimes we forget to schedule our routine dental checkup and cleaning. Don't neglect your dental health. Schedule one today with Dr. Robert Yang and his Smile team, conveniently located at the East West Business Center on Marine Drive, Upper Tumon. Call us today at 647-8702 or 3. Again, that's 647-8702 or 647-8703. We make smiles happen.
Oh, I get to do traffic again? All right, let's see if I can ad-lib my way through this, find out what's going on Guam. We were laughing the other day. I was talking with the mayor of Tinian, and he was remarking about they had a traffic jam on Tinian the other day. Apparently there were 4 cars. What? They're just locked in a traffic jam, and God, to call the police and everything. It's like that, and it's going to get busier up there. They've got some very interesting issues that they're beginning to face up there, and I'm sure that it's going to going to be part of the conversation. All right, so here's what we got for you. Not a whole lot that's happening anywhere south of ORDOT. Route 4 is busy in the usual places. Don't see a whole lot of dogging out traffic on Route 8 right now, but it's still only 741. Might be a little bit more of that a little bit later on. If we go through Tumuning, Upper Tumon, into the Harmon area, there's usual intersection traffic, but as usual, the heavy stuff is up in Dededo, or just before you get to Dededo, Pau. Don't see a whole lot of traffic leaking onto Marine Corps Drive from Route Sangsong, and Leche Macheche is not as happening as it usually is. Route 3, pretty busy on the outbound lanes trying to get onto Marine Corps Drive, and only a little bit of traffic over at the Micronesia Mall intersection on Route 16. All the way up in Anderson Air Force Base, maybe a trickle of traffic going into the base right now, and everybody lining up for their shot at $10 billion worth of reconstruction that they are talking about at the Air Force. I guess those guys got hit pretty hard in Mauars. Well, there it is. There's your traffic report here on 93.3. This is The Point.
Half a day. Mark Beneventi from Security Title here with a little information about deeds. In the world of real estate, a deed is the most common way to transfer property and ownership. Whether you're transferring a house in Jigo, a hotel in Tumon, or a ranch in Talipopo, the deed will describe the property boundaries, any restrictions, and the exact name of the new owner. Whether you're selling, buying, or even inheriting property, the deed transferring title is essential. When it comes to real estate, knowledge is key. Call the professionals at Security Title. We are here to help.
For all your real estate needs, call the professionals at Hoffaday Realty. Jody, Saran, Libby, and Lolita, and they'll take care of you on every step of the real estate process. No worries. Just contact Hoffaday Realty at 588-4232 or 588-HOFFA, or email them at hoffadayrealty@gmail.com. They're at 426 Challenge San Antonio, Suite 204 in Toowoomba. Open Monday through Friday, 10 to 4. Hoffaday Realty for all your real estate needs.
The Coconut Wireless is back. The Ray Gibson Show. Call now, 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
Yeah, well, I don't know about that. With the delay and the digital and all of the things that technology does, I think it'd be a weird kind of conversation. But we can try maybe a little bit later on if we've got the time for it. In the meantime, I've got in front of me in the studio, I'm in the coffee shop of the My Stay Hotel. And I want to say thanks very much to the management around here for allowing us in as early as they did, because normally they don't do anything in here until it gets to be about, 7 o'clock in the morning. But we're in and we're online, and as I said earlier, I've got some interesting folks as part of the delegation. You know, I thought originally it was going to be GovGuam agencies and the media, GVB management, and a couple of members of our mayoral staff. As it turns out, an invitation was extended to members of the CNMI government, and now we've got three of them in front of me, and I'll introduce them again. Senator Selena, I'm going to take this out here so you can just handle the microphone and pass it along to each other. Selena Babauta, Senator Selena Babauta.
Buenos, Ray. Good morning, and good morning, Guam, and good morning, CNY.
So
thank you for having us here.
We were among the very last people to get out of that long line on the second floor of Narita, but she was the first smile that I saw when I finally got out and saw the delegations, and she introduced, I'm Selena Babauta. Buenos. And I'm like, okay, Senator, good to have you. Good to have you. It's a bright, smiling face. I actually did a little bit of research about you. Yeah, because you and I have we have the same friends. See Troy Torres?
That's correct.
From Candid?
Yes.
And he's written an awful lot about you in the last year. And I got to say, one of the things that it was a headline on Candid a few months ago was that, a downturn in the economy. And there's all kinds of questions and allegations flying around about how the Treasury got emptied and all of that. You guys get to take care of that in your own way in the CNMI. But it got so bad. It's so bad that there are employees in the government of the CNMI that have lost their hours, and many of them have reduction in pay. And you were, if not the first, one of the first to turn your check back in.
Yes, that is correct.
Yeah.
Ever since I was at the house, I was donating a portion of my paycheck to a specific program at Cagman High. It's called their pantry program. And I keep in touch with the administrator of that program, and he has been so grateful. I've donated clothes that kids were able to use for their prom, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
That's really sweet.
They were really grateful for that. Every day, kids come into this pantry that they have set up, and they can pretty much pick whatever they need. And in fact, a couple of weeks ago, I met with the administrator, one of the counselors there, and he has again requested for some items.
Good.
So I'll be helping them a little bit more.
You know, if we could work out a pipeline between Guam and this place, I mean, I'm sure maybe there's some people that could help out from Guam. Although
That would be amazing.
We do have programs on Guam that are very, very similar to that. But I'm so glad to have met you and so glad that you're here. We'll continue to talk about some of the other issues, but let me share the microphone with a guy that I first I was aware of. Because I thought you were a pretty good publisher of a magazine once upon a time.
Thank you.
up in Saipan, and I'd reached out to him, you know, social media in the early days of social media, and all of a sudden I get this box from him, and it's back issues of all of the magazines that you'd published. And Ed, thanks very much. I think the clarity of your writing, the clarity of your thinking, and I figured when I was thumbing through all of those that it wouldn't be long before you were elected to an office in Saipan.
Thank you.
And you have been.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Buenas.
How about sir? You don't have to call me. You don't have to do that sir thing. But congratulations to you. And they tell me now that I should refer to you as congressman because you have been blessed by the great Kilili to take over his job as representative in the House in Washington D.C. That's a big deal.
It is a huge deal.
Move the microphone closer.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, it is a huge deal and a great honor. Everybody loves Kilili, Congressman Kilili. He's been in this position for 16 years, the first delegate, and he's handing it over and supporting me. So.
Here on Guam, well, we're in Tokyo right now, but on Guam, I think owe a debt to Kilili's guidance out there. We had Congresswoman Madeline Zebra-Dahlia was there for a long, long time, obviously, and the many congressional representatives that we've had. But Frank St. kind of a new guy a few years ago. He's going for the job again, as you know, on Guam, and Jimmy Craig Moylan and all those folks. And I'm sure that Kilili has done a good job in reminding him and among the territorial caucus how important unity is in that.
Absolutely, and we've had many discussions about that, and I'm grateful for his guidance and wisdom. And he has a ton of connections and just a very sincere, humble, genuine gentleman.
Yeah.
So we're very blessed.
He was in the Fox News yesterday, wasn't it? I think it was yesterday or Wednesday, and he was talking about issues that students in the CNMI have getting FAFSA paperwork. On Guam, we're talking about everybody sign up for FAFSA even before you graduate from high school. But up in the NMI, apparently there are restrictions.
It's ridiculous. They forgot about the CNMI. So on the drop-down menu, when you're trying to get your kids on or whatever, or if they're trying to register, there's no portion for that, even for the school. So it's almost like we have to register as a foreign country. So there's been a lot of frustration with that. How could you forget that the Commonwealth is not one of the territories of the United States?
Well, I don't know. With Guam, we have our drop-down issues as well, and we do whatever it is that we need to do. Sometimes I'm APO, and sometimes I'm FPO, but we all have those issues, and that's why we among the things that we need to square away by sending representatives from the Marianas out to Washington D.C. to represent us. Now, hand the microphone is Senator Donald Manglotnya. Oh. Don't worry, I got plenty. I got plenty while here. Anyway, welcome. This first time I've ever had a chance to meet you. Are we related?
Maybe down the line.
Did you have an auntie in Rhoda named Chong?
Name who?
Auntie Chong?
I don't know.
You don't.
There's a couple of Auntie Chongs on there.
We're strong like Auntie Chong. But Faison, the mayor of Rhoda, because I think she knows who I'm talking about out there. Gotta be there. Manglotnias and Martinez have been together since the Civil War. Anyway, so I don't know too much about you. Are you old enough to be like the baby of the bunch? I'll get a picture and put it up on the screen.
Yeah, I was one of the youngest ones when I first ran, but there was one younger than me, so she beat me to it. But this is my third time in the legislature, my third term. So
Notice I didn't ask anybody what their party affiliation is. I know that because I know you guys are high stakes politics when it gets to be election year in the NMI, and you get a little bit of a break this year. I think you guys have gubernatorial races opposite hours. So do we have a gubernatorial race going on now?
No.
In this? Okay, so not this time, but next one. Yeah, next one is when we can expect some real fireworks. Those of you that are politics watchers on Guam, if you're not paying attention to Saipan, you ain't seen nothing yet. It was a couple of years ago I was invited to moderate a debate up. You remember that? They reached out to me and said, can you come up to Saipan and moderate a debate? And I said, why? And it says, because we know you don't know anybody up here. We know you don't know anybody, and we can count on you to be completely neutral about it. As it turns out, I missed the opportunity, but one of these days I will. So we talk about different platforms and different backgrounds and things like that. What was it that caused you to decide that you wanted to run and be a member of the Senate?
Well, I was a member of the House for 2 terms before deciding to run for the Senate.
What, did you start in high school? I mean, I can't get over the guy's literally got a baby face. I don't mean to give you too much gas.
Well, I mean, I've been teaching for 8 years prior to running, right?
Okay.
So that was one of the major stepping stones to wanting to run and continue to help the community. But, why I decided to run for Senate was that in the beginning, when I first ran for the House, I wanted to kind of create this platform or to encourage younger residents to go for it and to
engage,
make this change, right?
Yeah.
And so seeing how I can accomplish that at such a young age, I hope to encourage other people to do the same. And so
are you
that
lifer?
was what I did with the House. And so moving up to the Senate opened up this opportunity for other people to run for the
and fill in your spot here.
Right.
And eventually you'll fill in the spot that's left behind by Ed.
Possibly.
We'll see. So are you a lifer? Is this something that you want to do for a long time?
I've considered it. And so, yeah, I mean, it runs in the family, right? My grandpa was mayor. I have an uncle who I'm currently serving with, who's been in there for over 30 years. And so,
yeah,
we'll see.
Yep. Well, and we'll watch with a great deal of interest. Hey, we'll just throw some questions around here. You know, I mentioned that the CNMI is in not a unique position. We've got hotels that have shut down here as well. Pacstar is mothballed right now, and I hope they got the air conditioning running just enough to keep the mold down. Across the street was the Verona. And that was destroyed by a couple of bad storms, and I don't know what's going to be happening with that. You guys recently, I think, reeled from the news that the Hyatt was going to be closing their doors, and that, I think, was pretty tectonic news for a lot of people. Get a lot of attention from that, even down here on Guam, which puts you in a weird position of being among us to ask, what's next? What's next for the NMI when it comes to hospitality? What are you guys talking about? And feel free to use the word cabotage. Ed, go ahead. When we were talking last night, and the concern, and there should be concern on Guam, if it happens up in the CNMI, it could happen here as well. There is a thing called contagion, and we are talking about some of the same business people that were behind the decision to close the Hyatt that are running hotels here on Guam.
Absolutely.
And so this is among the reasons why it's important that we've got a unified presence here in this inaugural weekend, number one. But number two, we've got to talk about how we can do everything that we can between our islands to make sure that you guys are good.
Well, this is the start, and it is very incredible to be here as part of this special celebration with the Haneda Guam flight going through with United. We are grateful to the GVB president, Carl Guiares, and the team for inviting us. You know, one thing that I've really learned from this fine gentleman is that, you know, we have to be one Marianas, and he always talks about and refers to as un Marianas, you know, and he has invited us to be a part of this, to ensure that we also have our successes. He doesn't look at it as so much as competition, as us being together as one family, and that's something that's just incredible. It's a great feeling, and a lot of us are just grabbing onto that. He recently visited us in Saipan, And he was, of course, we were so grateful to have him there, and of course, having conversations with him. And this is a positive contagion where we are pressing and pushing for this Un Mariana spirit, and working together and ensuring that we're all successful. Right now, militarily speaking, we are considered the tip of the spear.
Yeah.
And right now, with Tinian having a divert airfield, we're all in this together.
Yeah.
And now is the time for us to really look at support also from the military, from the Department of Defense. I know Guam historically has had that. We're only getting a taste of it in Tinian, and that's already pushing and helping the economy in our island of Tinian.
Well, they're having traffic jams now.
Absolutely. and
obviously, it's working.
Every business is full over there.
Yeah.
So it is working.
Well, there's some high sides that are going on as well. We all of us know Brad Rizala, and he was down here with the Triple J guys talking about the Surf Rider opening up over where the Plumeria was. So we've got that going on. The Jones family continues to make solid investments in the CNMI. So we have that happening. But are there other fruits on the tree that are just within reach right now? We're talking a lot about cabotage. I think it's an important word because if we are able to, working with representation in Washington D.C. from Guam and the NMI, is it possible that we can have that conversation to get that carve out for the Marianas?
Absolutely. I believe in it more than ever, thanks to those who've been championing. I know that Senator Jesse Lujan has been talking about cabotage for a couple of decades.
Nobody knew what it was until he started talking. I will give Jesse this. We don't always agree on everything, but I will give Jesse this. When he started talking about cabotage, he was a voice in the wilderness. Nobody else knew what the hell he was talking about. And then we were able to work things out on cargo, and okay, well that works. But the conversation about doing it for people has not gotten off to it has not reached its fruition.
We had a recent meeting about a month or so ago when we went to Guam, part of our delegation, and that was one of the discussions that we had. And of course, we met with the GVB President Guiares, and he's been championing that as well. The cabotage exemption. Basically, what that does is it allows foreign carriers to travel between 2 points, U.S.
Correct
points. So of course, one of our challenges right now, as you know, is our huge ticket price between Guam and Saipan.
I thought Glenn Hunter was making that up, but as it turns out.
It's so even with the discounted rate, it's not really a discount, it's still huge.
Well, you know what, I don't know, everything is adjusted for inflation, and actually, as it turns out, the rate that United was talking about, if we adjust for inflation from where it was back in the day, is not all that far off in terms of the value of the dollars that are driving it. Unfortunately, what's happened, though, is the value of the dollar for us in 2024 has gone into the toilet, and it's absolutely rough. I'm going to try to get some more time with you. Unfortunately, we've got the Fox News coming up here in just a second, so I'm going to have to bail out of this conversation. We've got the mayors coming in, and if I get some time with you again, Celine, we'll talk some more about some of the initiatives that you have got moving forward in the NMI. Mr. Minglonia, it's a pleasure to meet you, cuz, and I hope we get another opportunity sometime down the road, because if we can get those prices for airplane tickets down, then I'm going to have you guys in the studio once a month. I think it's that important a conversation that we need to have. Closing in on 8 o'clock in the morning, the radio station's KUSG. I'm broadcasting live through the courtesies of the folks over at Shinsu and My Stay Tokyo, and appreciate all of the work that they did to put the technology and the resources together to get this done. At least one more hour of the program is coming up, so stay right there.
A second day for Daniels as a witness saw the defense claim her story has evolved about an alleged relationship with the former president. Daniels said it hasn't, adding under oath she never talked about the $130,000 payment directly with the defendant. The former president has denied he and Daniels ever had a sexual relationship, and again after trial took it out on the judge.
He's a corrupt judge and he's totally conflicted. And I got to get back on the campaign trail.
Judge Juan Mershon denied another defense mistrial motion. Also, the state now says it will not call the other woman who alleged an affair, Karen McDougal, as a witness.
Fox's Gernal Scott. White House National Security Advisor John Kirby says a large-scale Israeli operation into southern Gaza would jeopardize peace talks with Hamas.
Any kind of major Rafah ground operation would actually strengthen Hamas's hands at the negotiating table, not Israel's. That's our view.
Rafah is the last major Hamas stronghold in Gaza. Yesterday, President Biden said if Israel proceeds, the U.S. would not send offensive weapons to Israel. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says that threat will not keep Israel from continuing its offensive. Tennessee Governor Bill Lee in Maury County after devastating tornado struck in the area last night.
Emergency management folks, the sheriff's department, the fire department, the local agencies that have engaged with Department of Transportation and with TEMA, it's working to make sure there's a coordinated effort.
A woman was killed in Maury County after a mobile home was tossed into the air by the tornado. America is listening to Fox News.
Get ready to make waves at the event of the year. The Micronesian Conservation Coalition proudly presents the 3rd annual Ocean Gala, taking place Saturday, May 11th from 6 to 10 at the stunning Hyatt Regency Guam. Join us to celebrate our beautiful ocean and the tireless efforts of our community to preserve it. Dance the night away with live music, indulge in exquisite cuisine, and be inspired by our Starry Night celebration, honoring our ocean champions. Tickets are selling fast at $150 a head, or grab a table for 10 for just $1,400. WhatsApp or call 671-797-8445 with your interest. That's 671-797-8445. Special thanks to our generous sponsors, including Environmental Chemical Corporation, Bank of Guam, Future Smiles Orthodontics, Unitech Environmental Guam, Phoenix Jet, and Landscape Management Systems. Don't miss out. In the words of Vincent van Gogh, great things are done by a series of small things brought together.
A former aide and a consultant to Texas Congressman Henry Cuellar have agreed to plead guilty to conspiring to help the Democrat launder more than $200,000 in bribes. A man acquitted of supporting a plot to kidnap Michigan's governor is running for public office.
Eric Molitor was found not guilty last fall of supporting a plot to kidnap Governor Gretchen Whitmer over her pandemic lockdown policies. Now he wants to be the sheriff of Wexford County in northwest Michigan. He's filed papers to run in the Republican primary this August. He promises, if elected, he will not enforce the state's red flag law that allows confiscation of someone's weapons if they're thought to be a threat to themselves or others. About the Whitmer kidnap plot, Molitor says it was a government setup perpetuated by FBI agents and their informants. Jack Callahan, Fox News.
Harvey Weinstein will remain locked up in New York as a court rules whether he should remain jailed in New York City while awaiting retrial or be sent to California to serve his prison sentence for rape there. Weinstein had a sexual assault conviction in New York overturned last month. The Labor Department has released its latest read on the job market.
The latest jobless claims data out indicates a softening in the labor market. First-time claims for jobless help last week climbed sharply, up 22,000 to 231,000. That's the highest level since last August, and above the estimated 214,000 claims many economists were expecting. Continuing claims increased 17,000 to a seasonally adjusted 1.785 million during the week, which ended April 27th. Fed Chief Jerome Powell has said the cooling of the labor market is evidence the central bank's policy is pushing down economic growth and will help lower inflation.
Fox's Lillian Wu. I'm Lisa Lacera. This is Fox News.
KFC's Extra Tasty Spicy is here to set every moment on fire. Spice up your day with a dash of extreme spicy. Available in battered fries, boneless crispy strips, and KFC crispy chicken. Order the Extra Tasty Spicy and get ready for a fiery feast. Enter KFC's spiciest era yet. Get your fix at your favorite KFC today or order online at kfcguam.com. KFC, it's finger licking good.
Whoever said no risk, no reward has never been sued. Hi, I'm Dave Silva from AB Risk Solutions, and our job for over 70 years has been to help businesses just like yours manage risk. Manage risk? We will never be able to totally eliminate the myriad of risks every business faces, but we can help you manage them and recover when disaster strikes. From mom and pop operations to high-rise hotels, we're the experts businesses have counted on for many years. Call me today at 777-2668 for a free risk review and consultation.
AB Risk Solutions, formerly known as Aon. Are you wondering what business provides industry-standard data center services locally? IT&E does. We're more than a service provider. We're your partners in success. We protect your data from threats both on and offline. Downtime is not an option with our fully equipped backup and redundancy systems. Rest easy knowing that we provide around-the-clock service and support. Our relentless commitment ensures a seamless experience you can rely on. Are you curious about where to start? Ask Blue today. IT&E, innovation for your business.
Your 8 o'clock local news is brought to you by Family Finance.
Half a day, it's 8:06. I'm Donna De Jesus with a look at your local news on The Point. 28-year-old Jeff Maytawan, accused of stealing a Guam Fire Department ambulance, was acquitted of all charges. His defense attorney cited a flawed investigation. The ambulance, stolen in August while medics attended a sick call, was later found damaged. Co-actor Davidson Yoichi admitted to driving the ambulance, but the government couldn't link Maytawan to the theft. Yoichi's plea agreement may result in a 10-month to 8-year sentence. The theft's circumstances, including who stole the ambulance, remain unclear. And Jesse Candeleta Mendiola faces charges after causing a disturbance at Ipoh Beach. Police responded to reports of Mendiola damaging a vehicle and instigating fights. Mendiola reportedly pushed a safety officer, then fled towards the beach. There, he punched a company car and a homeless man. When officers approached, he attempted to punch an officer, leading to a struggle. Eventually, police subdued him. Mendiola is charged with assault and attempted assault on officers, criminal mischief, resisting arrest, and disorderly conduct. More news after this.
Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959, and they will continue to be there for you in the years to come. Whether you're looking to get a personal loan for that summer vacation or paying off those long overdue bills, Family Finance has got you covered. Apply for a personal loan from $1,000 up to $4,100 by calling Family Finance in Hagåtña at 671-475-4545 or in Dededo 671-633-4473.
During an oversight hearing, GPD Chief Stephen Ignacio revealed that out of 66 patrol cars across 4 precincts, only 26 are operational due to various issues like crash damage and parts delays. From 2020 to 2023, 44 cars were damaged in crashes, with 74 awaiting repairs in 2024, 21 of which were in accidents. GPD declined to disclose how many officers were at fault. Despite efforts to hire mechanics, retention remains a challenge, with only 1 mechanic currently employed. Ignacio aims to procure 28 new patrol cars at $86,000 each, corresponding to the island's patrol beats. And GCC received $1.3 million from the U.S. Department of Labor for its Youth Build program, aiding up to 66 young adults without diplomas. Lasting 32 weeks, participants will split their time between GED or diploma classes and construction training, building homes for low-income rental properties. Materials for the homes are provided by Micronesian Community Development Corporation. Participants receive a stipend and can pursue apprenticeships. This grant aligns with Guam's workforce needs, expanding apprenticeships and addressing the construction industry's demands. And those were your top stories. Now back to Ray with weather.
I got weather from Guam. We're going to do weather for Guam, right? I don't have to do the one from here because it's cold here. It's like everybody within that I can see,
over
dude.
Here.
49 degrees this morning. And I'm trying to remember who it was that told me, oh, no, it's Tokyo. In May, it's going to be hot.
Yeah,
all of
Zoris.
the cherry trees, the blossoms, it's all falling down. Yeah, wear your Zoris. So I'm actually wearing one of 2 long sleeve shirts that I brought with me, and I'm trying to decide whether there's going to be a purchase of one of these thick down jackets a little bit later on. But I won't need it when I get home on Mother's Day. Isolated showers in the forecast and mostly sunny skies every day. Highs near 89 degrees, east-northeast winds to about 13 miles an hour, 8 to 11 miles an hour tonight. Partly cloudy skies and overnight lows of about 78 degrees. And that is really what we've got for you. Mostly sunny during the day, partly cloudy during the night, just like it was when I was there. Imagine that. With a heat index, it'll feel like 92 degrees, only a 20% chance of rain, and sunset tonight. We're going to miss sunset over at the beachy with our friends. Is going to be about 6:38. Hashtag tell the others. There it is. News and weather together right here on 93.3. This is The Point.
Hungry for an unforgettable dining experience? Look no further than Mezcla Chamorro Fusion Bistro, where every meal is a celebration of flavor and tradition. From mouth-watering appetizers to decadent desserts, every dish is crafted with passion and local flair. And with a warm and inviting atmosphere that feels like coming home. Dining at Mezcla Bistro is not just a meal, it's an experience to savor. Join us at Mezcla Bistro in the heart of Hagåtña. Your table awaits. Visit us online at mezclaguam.com or call 671-479-2652 or 489-2653. Mezcla Chamorro Fusion Bistro, a true taste of Guam.
Boss, I got run over by a forklift.
Boss, I crashed the company truck.
What do we do? Our warehouse and inventory are gone.
Hi, this is Dave Silva from AB Risk Solutions, and it's time for Risk 101. Everything you just heard are examples of risk your businesses can face. Our job is to ask the hard what-if questions and teach you how to reduce your exposures and help you recover if things go sideways. We've got decades of experience in Micronesia working with businesses big and small. Call AB Risk Solutions today at 777-2668 for a free inspection and quote.
AB Risk Solutions, formerly known as Aon.
Hey, portions of the program made possible by Kim and Ron over at Security Title, an incredible group to be with. Title and security, that's what they do there, title and escrow. If you got other questions about what you need to do to get your piece of property bought or sold, they'll tell you how to make it easy. That's what they do, and they do better than anybody else at Security Title. Ray Gibson Show from Tokyo, also being brought to you by APL, American President Lines, a global presence with a local presence with a global home.
News to fill your mind. Talk to get it out. The Ray Gibson Show. Call now, 888-825-5.
Bro, it's a crowd here in the coffee shop over at. Can everybody hear me out there? Hey, can you guys hear me? Can you hear me? Make some noise. Make some noise so everybody knows, like the entire. Nice. Okay, so for real, if anybody said that. If anybody said they were going on this trip, trust me, they're working. It is now just 7:12 in the morning, and there's been a gaggle of people around me since I started the broadcast at what is 5 o'clock in the morning here in Tokyo. So we just everybody kind of lined up, and we're all pulling kind of on the same rope. And that's one of the conversations that if we can emphasize one thing about this trip and why it's important is because it's not just GVB, it's not just the Guam Visitors Bureau. In addition to GVB, we've also got folks from the Guam International Airport, Ike Paredo, for the Director of Customs, Franklin Taitagui, the Captain of Customs and Quarantine. We've got Ricky Hernandez, the Deputy Executive Manager of the airport, Rolinda Fasumalie, Elfrey Koshibra, and I think it was Elfrey and photographer Norman Taruk. We lost them for a little bit. No, I know where they are now. But when we were at the airport, we were all trying to leave. And as I said, it's a huge delegation. And so we're sitting on the bus, and we're about ready to tell the bus driver, let's go. And somebody said, wait. Where's Elfrey? Last I saw, she was talking to Norman, and they were, and anyway, so we had to go and find them. But a huge delegation here. And among the folks that are with us include mayors. We've got our own mayor from Inalohan. I have to say it loud and correctly so he can hear it. Tony Chargaloff is with me and might hear from him before the day is all over. But we've also got a couple of mayors from the CNMI, and including the mayor of Rhoda, who is Aubrey Hokok. Did I say it right?
Yes, sir.
You got to put it's a hard C, right?
Hokok, yes.
Because you got to get it right. There's two different, what's the name that they pronounce differently? Italic. Italic, yes. Yeah. It's Italic on Guam at Atalic.
Atalic, Luta, yes.
Yes, exactly. There's the family right there. And somebody who just had the pleasure of meeting recently, Edwin Aldan, who is the mayor of Tinian. And I've been, we were talking about who's been where, right? And I remember I got, it was just a stop on the way up to Saipan, and so that's the only way I know Rhoda. Tinian, on the other hand, I've been to and have had a fantastic time on back in the day, back when there was a casino there, and you'll recall we were talking. You can go ahead and hand him the mic. We'll just hand it back and forth. But we were talking about one of our favorite Tinian guys, and that's Don Farrell.
The renowned Don Farrell.
The renowned Don Farrell.
The author, the man, the legend, the myth.
Yeah, exactly.
And still kicking ass.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. He's got a new book out and had him by the radio station to talk about that. Then he had the book signing over at Jeff's, and it's a big, thick book. I mean, I don't know where the guy finds this out because he's still busy with politics in the NMI, right?
Not only politics, the history of the island.
Oh, for sure, the history. Move the microphone closer to you. You got a great voice, and I want to make sure everybody hears it. But also, kind of, does he act like a liaison, a connection between the CNMI government, mayor's office, and all of the work that's being done now by the military?
He does some liaison in terms of tourism, and we do have. We've worked with him, an awesome guy to work with. Unbelievable history.
Yeah.
Still sharp. He's old, but he still has the knack for doing all of this history. But he does do contract.
Yeah, so it kind of lubricates everything, and because there can be friction points, and I know that in Tinian in particular, it's the impact now of the construction and the build up that is going on up in Tinian. I mean, there's opportunities there for friction between the community, what's going on, and the desire for build-up and commerce, right?
Yeah, right now we're going through a lot of, one of the things that we're really going through is with the environmental impact study, which is in regards to the shooting range. As you know, the military's proposals to build 2 shooting ranges instead of 14. We just
down to 2. Okay.
Only down to 2. They was supposed to be a bombing area, high impact area. Now they're just going to drop innards.
I thought they were doing that up in the Farallons.
Nope.
No?
They had a proposal.
Even for Tinian, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, air, surface, jet to land, and then from ship to shore.
Yeah.
But then we didn't agree with it in 2015, so we took them to court. The women's, international women's took them to court, and then they won their case, and then...
But there's still the desire. I mean, I get it. We had the same issues on Guam when we were talking about, the Camp Blas now, that for all intents and purposes is all built up. But there's the twin desires, right? We want to be able to encourage the participation of the U.S. government here and whatever benefits that they can bring to the people. But we've also got to be concerned about the environment, preservation of the culture, and there is incredible culture in Tinian as well. I mean, we've got the House of Taga. Whose island is that? Is that yours? Okay, you got House of Taga, but Rhoda has the largest of the what do you call it?
Yes, ours Nevis, the laddiestones.
Your
they
laddystone.
have not been erected. They're still laid on the ground, yes.
Right, I think that's incredible. Anyway, so more on that because, as I said, with Tinian, there was so much going on and so many opportunities, and like the casino, which was fantastic. I'd stayed at the casino a couple of times over the years. I remember once I rode the vomit rocket into across the channel, and the last time I went there, the last time I went there for Don's book, it wasn't when we're using the shuttle anymore. You get on an airplane, and it was amazing because you get in an airplane, and just as you start to feel like you're getting some altitude, it's time to land, and then you land and get it all done. But I thought, okay, this is going to be great. It'll open up the opportunities for hospitality, more than just a casino for Tinian. And then the dynasty closed, and there wasn't anything going on until David Bice shows up with the Marines.
Yeah, and we've been getting tours and showing a couple of developers in regards to the dynasty.
Yeah.
So there is interest built up on that particular area.
Are they doing anything for the infrastructure? Are they helping out with power and water and that kind of thing? No. Hey.
No.
Next time I'll negotiate for you. We'll get the road so there won't be any more of these the road traffic jams that they've got there. 20 after 8 o'clock in the morning, and always an interesting conversation, especially when we start talking about people that we know that they're there. We just don't know any of them from Guam. I mean, you got to be deep into government in the CNMI to know who some of the players are. And Mayor Aubrey is the mayor of Rhoda, which is. When I stop and think about Rhoda, I think, okay, you want to talk about neighbors. We're this close. What's the distance between my house and yours?
Well, by plane, about 30 minutes between our islands. By boat, depending on the vessel that you carry and the engine that you have, right? It can be between a 2 to 4 hour boat ride.
Well, one of these days, and this is the part where the conversation's about what's happening with the Haneda to Guam flight with United Airlines. This is the part where we start talking about possibilities, and one of the great scratcher-outer possibilities, former Governor Carl T.C. Guiares. When the Japanese get here on Haneda, from the flight in Haneda, they arrive fairly early in the morning, before sunrise on Guam, too early to go to the beach, and for a lot of hotels, too early to check in. And we were thinking, well, why don't we just send them to Rota for a little bit? What'd you say, a half hour?
We love that plan, yes. And, a great man of action. We owe a debt of gratitude to the former Governor Carl Guiares. I visited GVB just
That's
to
why I
get
called today's show.
information.
It's the Ray and Carl show. Even though he was only on for a half hour, it's the Ray and Carl, because everybody keeps talking about him.
Because he is a very humble man who has generously opened his heart to help the people of Luta, Saipan, Tinian, right? I visited their office just to meet and greet and gather information, and I left with an action plan to see, as part of this Blue Continent initiative, to help One Marianas here, to see how we can help all the neighboring islands. And as a result, we are going to be welcoming many of these travel agents, tour agents, family of GVB, even members of the military, MWR, to come and visit Luta to see how we can showcase and package deals with our local business community to entice and welcome visitors, exactly as you said, to come to Luta and be a part and experience many of the things that we have displayed or could be experienced in Rota.
So the thing is, the suspicion that I have is when these people get off the airplane in Luta, as you say, when they get off the airplane out there, they're not going to want to leave. They so, no, we'll just stay here. Never mind the Guam trip. Give my room to somebody else. I'm going to stay here.
Don't sell that to the governor.
well, no. If there's anything that he and I both agree in, a rising tide lifts all boats, and this game changer of a route with Haneda causes us to ask questions about what we can do, not just for Guam. Why would we be what good is it if we're the sole beneficiaries of all of this? We got to figure out a way that we can spread it around. And the governor has also been very impressed with you and was delighted to have the conversation, he told me, because you got his vision. And you were already thinking of people who could help fulfill that vision on the ground in Luta. You already know people that can help out with the hunting for the crabs and looking at the last Marianas fruit bat. Not the last one. You got more than that, right?
Yes, we do.
Okay, I always worry. No snakes there, right?
No snakes.
And
our Rhino Beauty, we have to give a shout out to our hardworking team, because they're able to contain, the CRB on Rota.
Yeah.
So we have to give a shout out to their hard work.
Is there still a golf course up there?
Sadly, it's there, but it's vacated. The current DC, right, is having a quarrel with DPL because they haven't fulfilled their end of the lease term agreement. So DPL terminated their lease, but they, I believe, are going to take it to court and fight it that way. But we are very hopeful. There are many businesses who have expressed interest, not only in Rota Resort, but other areas on the island that's going to help upgrade.
Well, I mean, what have you? Sorry, forgive my ignorance, but what do you have by way of visitor accommodations in Luta?
So we do have smaller hotel venues. We do have a large growing number of residents who are opening Airbnbs. So this is a great way to incorporate a lot of the land or the homes that are there and have them converted to offer these accommodations to our tourists.
Now, forgive me again my ignorance here, Mayor Ed. In Tinian, did the Jones family not open up a restaurant and B&B in your place?
Yes. Bob and Triple J companies about 3 years ago start coming down to Tinian, and they open up rooms.
Yeah.
It's
a new restaurant. You have a new restaurant there too, right?
It's called Barkey.
Yeah. And wait a second. And you've also got their I don't want to say it's like Kmart, but they've got this like an outlet store that they built.
It's owned by Triple J.
Yeah, and you know what sucks about this is they've got these prices that are better than what you get on Guam. And so you guys are doing really, really well out there. I don't know if you know that.
Yes. Without
and merchandise that I've never seen before Donkey Village opened.
From the States directly, because what Bob does a lot of magic for us. He brings in a lot of new stuff for our farmers, for vendors. We do have markets, Saturday markets. and then he's now planting gardening.
Yeah.
He's
Well, there was a once upon a time, and this is a fun conversation that Senor Don Farrell and I get into every once in a while. Is people don't realize the bread basket that Tinian was in the last century, and you know, there was, when I was growing up, you could go to Ada's and get some meat from the States, but you could also get Tinian beef. And I'm almost positive we drank milk from the cows that were up in Tinian.
I think we still have the most cow in the entire Commonwealth and the entire Mariana Islands, and those were originally from Ken Jones.
Yeah, from his
started,
So I got a buddy of mine that goes up there. He's an archaeologist, and he goes up, and then when he comes down, he'll call and ask if I want steak. And I always say, yes, I want some of that Tinian beef. But by the time it gets down here, somebody's eaten all of it. So he didn't have enough to bring back. One of these days, I'm going to get up there, and we'll do that. There's a pavilion right next to, over here is the Dynasty, and there's a pavilion, and over there is the beach. And that's a great spot to get together and celebrate the budding relationships between our islands. Is that the name of it? Beautiful spot. Absolutely fantastic spot there. There's so much to talk about, so much to do, and I wish I had more time with you guys. But I think this is, as I mentioned to your senators from the Big Island of Saipan, this is the beginning of conversations, beginning of new relationships. That
you know, Ray, big shout out to GVB. And especially Carl Guiares, former governor, for really allowing us and to collaborate on this One Marianas mission. It has always been a table discussion, but you know, action is better than talk.
That's a man of action.
Yeah, and with Carl, with us, going through a lot of interesting and exciting opportunities. I thank them for just allowing us to come on this trip and to see what are the knickknacks that GVB offers to their clients.
Save all the business cards. Save all the business cards. Now you know all the travel agents too.
Yes.
And there's some more coming in. The rest of the schedule for tonight will include the arrival of Lieutenant Governor Josh Tenorio and other members of the governor's cabinet. And there's going to be a whole lot more shaking hands and meets and greets before everybody gets back to their home islands, including my own. Real Joe, I tell you what, I've got a couple other folks here that we're going to be talking to, and it requires setting up the stage for the main celebrant, like Mass, and his translator. So in between time, and until we get to news with Donna D, if you don't mind, can you play the interview that I recorded with Mayor Chargaloff from the beautiful village of Inalohan? We took an opportunity yesterday in between breakfast to be able to chat a little bit about some of the adventures that he is on and different ways that the mayor of Inalohan is working with the mayor of Luta and Tinian. So hit the button on that now. I'll be right back. Buenas and half a day from the MyStar Hotel in Akasaka, Japan, minutes away from Haneda Airport, where pretty soon we're going to have a whole bunch of people flying from out of the city of Tokyo, directly in the city of Tokyo, out to Guam. It'll be a 3.5-hour flight, get off the plane on Guam, and then nothing. They got to wait until the hotel says, okay, you can come in and stay. So we're hoping that there'll be a whole bunch of excursions and other activities for them to do once they land on Guam. It'll be about sunrise. And I think that'd be a pretty good time to take them down south, maybe down to the beautiful village of Inalohan. Their mayor's with me right now. Mayor, buenas and half a day.
Buenas, Ray.
So it's really good to have you online because you've got a unique perspective. Everybody talks about how they need to move hospitality and tourism out of Tumon, and the village of Inalohan is now, I think, a centerpiece for Southern hospitality down there. You've done a great job.
Absolutely not. And part of the drive behind that is understanding that Guam needs tourism dollars in order for us to operate. So that's one of the reasons why I'm in such an alignment with GVB's goal or their strategy in terms of trying to sell Guam to the people in Japan.
Mm-hmm. Now, if you had an opportunity, if they said, let's put a whole bunch of these Haneda passengers on a bus and send them down south, what would they do in your village?
Oh, there'll be a whole lot of stuff. Number one, of course, our big attraction is the Inalohan pools, our Bear Rock as well, our Godal. And one of the things I'm trying to promote is that for our people to become entrepreneurs, to kind of showcase and demonstrate how they make the coconut oil, the soap making, and all our goodies, the baked goods that we have out there.
What a great place for breakfast.
Oh, absolutely. No, so again, actually, our local stores actually sell a pretty good amount of variety of breakfast stuff, whether it be the tijas and the chicken kelaguen and the likes.
Well, you've also got right next to the store, and I think everybody on Guam knows which store I'm talking about. There's a little farmer's market that pops up every once in a while.
Yeah, so there we do have the Martinez family out there that runs their little roadside stand, but they have a variety of stuff from watermelons to mangoes to bananas, whole slew of stuff. And so obviously a lot of the tourists take advantage of that and come down and try the local fruits and vegetables that we have down in Inalohan.
Now, you're not the only mayor here. You are also joined, and not that you're the only one from Guam, but you're also being joined by your counterparts and your opposite numbers from the CNMI. Have you had a good time talking with them?
Oh, absolutely. So I know they're out here as well because they understand the value of tourism and they understand that tourism dollars actually can help benefit the island. So while they're out here also to promote their islands, I'm out here representing Guam in its entirety, trying to promote Guam as well. So I know that at the end, and of course the relationship that I'm building with these, the Northern Mariana Island mayors is actually great. We're trying to kind of sales pitch all that we have to offer. And there's so many things. I mean, Luta, for example, has the Laddie Stones. They also have the Zuzu, the fruit bats to showcase. Tinian also. Tinian right now, despite understanding that they need tourism dollars, they're benefiting right now from the big military buildup that's going on. But stuff like that.
Well, the mayor of it's funny because the mayor of Tinian was complaining this morning about a traffic jam. It must have been 4 cars lined up. All of them are stopped, and man, you just tap on the wheel and wait until you can go. Some of the friendliest islands that we've got out there, and there's some friendly relationships that you guys are developing and have developed, and I think it will make a great partnership down the road, not just for the Haneda jump, but for all of the hospitality. Hopefully we'll find a way that we can, a mechanism that we can get so that it's easier and more cost efficient for Guamanians to travel back to Rota and Tinian and Saipan.
Yes, actually, so the beauty about what, and I have to give a big shout out to Governor Guiares for actually coming up with this concept. We've always heard the One Marianas concept, but honestly, I think this action of bringing them out here to be a part of this group is actually validating that we do need to build a One Marianas. And yes, we were talking about, a cruise ship that would allow for the tourists to come to Guam and then get on a cruise ship, mobilize to Rota and then to Tinian, up the chain to Saipan and then back. That would be a great plan, a great idea, and we just need some of our leaders to kind of sales pitch that out there so that hopefully a cruise ship can come to Guam, start up and start taking that route so that our friends and brothers and sisters up in Northern Marianas can take advantage of the tourists. And of course, I think even for myself, I know my family would jump on the ship and allow for us to go to this Northern Mariana Island tour.
Well, and the other thing is, don't forget the military that we have here on Guam. Many of them would like to see what else is beyond our fence. How about beyond that ocean, that section of ocean, that section of reef? What's beyond all of that stuff? Mayor, I'm sorry I wasn't able to make it down to the fiesta a couple of weeks ago. You got anything else coming up soon?
Yeah, well, what we have looking ahead right now is that we're going to be having the memorial happening on July 17, and so that's another big thing that we're doing in honor of our survivors of the war. We're doing this, and this year being the 80th, I think it's going to be. We're doing a big grand one this year, in particular because of the 80th. But more importantly, a lot of the survivors are actually passing away, so we want to do a big tribute this year. It's unfortunately it's only my 3rd year doing it, but we're going to make it very grand this year for sure.
Well, there's something about the way that the Southern men behaved and acted at the end of the war when they could have just put their heads down and died. They didn't. They fought back, and we need to commemorate them and the families that they sacrificed their lives for.
Absolutely, yes. And the unfortunate thing, like I said, it's only been the 3rd year to celebrate our survivors and those that passed away, but. Nonetheless, though, we're making it happen, and we obviously want to continue doing this forever.
Right. So you got anything else that's coming up for the hospitality? I mean, you're always looking for something to polish and clean up and add to. You've got that staging area for the pictures over at Bear Rock, perfect selfie locations. What are you working on? What's going around in your head?
Okay, so yeah, it was interesting. Interesting question, because just last week I did a testimony out at the legislature requesting for more funds. One of the big things, and I'm saying the whole island got to be looking out for this, we are going to be erecting a big statue of Chief Gado. He's going to be holding a fish, so that's something to look forward to, and I'm hoping to get this accomplished within the next 2 to 3 months, and that'll be a big iconic spot again for the tourists that we taking a lot of photos out of there. Also, the Inalohan flowers, the plumeria. And so I'm actually getting that done right now. It's going to be a 6-foot rendition of the plumeria. And we're having 2 of those. And we're going to put in the long stretch in Malolo so that as tourists drive by, they'll be able to stop by and take photos of that as well.
I think that's fantastic. Some great plans that you got for the village, great plans you got for hospitality. Mayor, again, thanks for the time.
All right. Thank you, Ray.
Well, how about that? He's enjoying breakfast with former Governor Guiares right now, so I'm not going to bother him anymore. We do have one big last look at news and headlines with Donna D. Probably not going to be able to take care of 3 days' worth of celebrity birthdays and special events. We've got a couple going on, and I'm celebrating a birthday tomorrow. And, of course, all of the women, the moms on Guam, are going to be celebrating a Happy Mother's Day on Sunday. So I suppose that's good for celebrity birthdays and special events. Donna with her last big look at news and headlines for the week coming up after these.
Choice Broadcasting and Lotte Hotel Guam present the 2024 Island Wedding Expo. Commit to showing up on May 19th. Join us in the Crystal Ballroom from 9 a.m. until 3 p.m. A lucky couple will have a chance to win a round trip to Japan, courtesy of United Airlines. They must be present to win, so stick around and enjoy some of our fine sponsors. Vince Jewelers, Arliss Wedding, The Glam Shop, Payless Floral, Wedding by Cha, Elle's Bridal, Island Color and Copy, Isla Jewelry, Oven Lovin', 11th Essence, DNA Custom Creations, The Dugout, Lotte Hotel, and so much more. May 19th. Save the date.
Alpha Day, Mark Beneventi from Security Title here with a little information about deeds. In the world of real estate, a deed is the most common way to transfer property and ownership. Whether you're transferring a house in Chico, a hotel in Tumon, or a ranch in Talipopo, the deed will describe the property boundaries, any restrictions, and the exact name of the new owner. Whether you're selling, buying, or even inheriting property, the deed transferring title is essential. When it comes to real estate, knowledge is key. Call the professionals at Security Title. We are here to help.
Ton of folks here. Want to say thanks very much, too, for helping put all of this together, including the team over at the Guam Visitors Bureau, Nicole Cruz. I got Carlos Olanamagmar. From the maintenance department, Akeem Issa, also the maintenance supervisor for GVB, Lisa Berdalio, their public information officer, Mai Perez, marketing manager, Elaine Pangilinan, senior marketing manager, Nadine Leon Guerrero, the director of global marketing, and former Governor Carl T.C. Guiares. I appreciate the invitation. I appreciate everything that you've done to make me and my translator Rie very, very comfortable on this trip, and we look forward to coming around with you again. What did you say, Rhoda next on the 17th? We'll see how that plays out. You'll see what kind of internet they've got out there. Time for our last big look at news and headlines. Donna D's been sitting by, waiting to get all of that stuff taken care of. Happy Mother's Day to you, Donna, and thanks for sitting in the studio for me.
Gee, thanks. Navy sailor Michael Yan Tajan received a 10-month sentence for failing to register as a sex offender in federal court. His failure to register stemmed from his conviction 4 years ago for recording lewd images of fellow sailors on Guam. He pleaded guilty to the charge, resulting in 10 months in a federal correctional facility in California's Terminal Island. He also faces 5 years of supervised release following his incarceration. Meanwhile, Senator Telo Taitaqui's Bill 293 proposes charging prison inmates caught using alcohol or drugs with a crime, adding to their jail time if found guilty. The bipartisan bill aims to deter substance abuse in prisons and enhance rehabilitation. If passed, the bill would allow misdemeanor charges and additional jail time for prisoners found under the influence. And GTA launched GTA Fiber, providing internet speeds up to 1 gig with 600 megabits per second uploads. GTA Fiber ensures seamless connectivity and lag-free gaming. Currently available in select areas, GTA aims for island-wide coverage in the coming years, offering pricing similar to existing home internet plans. Visit GTA's website at gta.net for sign-up information and availability updates. And that was your last look at local headlines on The Point. Now back to Ray.
Last one for the week. Have a fantastic weekend, as I say. Go on, get out of there if you need to. And tell Mar I will sign the document when I get back. How's that?
Okay.
Okay, gotcha. In 20 minutes, it'll be 9 o'clock in the morning on Guam as we make our way through this particular Friday morning. It's a broadcasting live from the My Stay. Yeah, that's the name of the hotel. My Stay in Akasaka. Beautiful hotel. And my understanding is that this is a favorite for GVB and the Team Shinsu. And I'll explain exactly who Team Shinsu is in just a couple of moments. In the meantime, we'll take a quick break. And when we return, an opportunity to meet not one, but 2 Higuchi-sans.
Tori tempo gagi hami
At APL, their expertise and extensive network can help you grow your business and reach out to more global markets. As a responsible carrier, APL is also committed to a sustainable future, whether it's protecting the environment or investing their efforts in giving back to the community. APL's dedicated team in Guam and the U.S. mainland are here to support you. Call 588-4651 or visit apl.com.
Now, I tell you what, I am really, really impressed by something. When we were starting to talk about doing the broadcast, my primary concern was being able to maintain the feed. Last time we were traveling in Japan, we had issues with the Wi-Fi, and I mentioned that to the team. I refer to them as GVB's Japan team from Shinsu, and they said, okay, well, we're going to try something different, and they went out and got, I've never seen the technology, but it's 5G Wi-Fi's, MiFi Wi-Fi's that you can carry around with you. As I said, we've all got Wi-Fi's and things like that, but do we have any that are 5G? Those of you that are in telecom on Guam, listen carefully, because high quality feed, and I've lost like 3 or 4 frames total in almost 4 hours of broadcasting. So absolutely terrific. Shinsu is the name of the outfit. As I said, I refer to them as GVB's Japan team, because they really feel like GVB's Japan team. I find they're just like employees of the Guam Visitors Bureau, very, very tight connections, very cohesive, and that's maybe because of the leadership of Sochan Higuchi, and I'd like to introduce you to the audience now. How do I say this? Half a day to everybody on Guam.
Yeah, half a day.
It's very nice to have you. I'm going to ask you to hold the microphone, and you can share with your son, Taichi Higuchi, and Sochan Sansei, third generation, right? Third generation owner of Shinsu.
Yes.
So how old is the company?
Oh, well, we have 76 years old.
76.
Yeah. We founded in 1947.
So not your father, but your grandfather started the company. Your English is fine. We don't need a translator. Taiti's sitting there taking notes because he wants to translate word for word. But your English is fine, better than my Japanese. It's okay. So 76 years, and Taichi, I'll address this to you so that you can ask your father about the company. So 76 years you've been doing this. Has it always been a marketing and strategy company?
Oh, yes. 最初はモーションピクチャーの宣伝から始まって、旅行。
Some of you that speak Japanese are listening, going, "Okay, let's see what this translation turns out to be." Oh, okay.
So we started a business as an advertisement agency of motion picture. After that, we moved to the travel agency and the other market.
Okay. All right. It sounded like he said more words than that. It's lost in translation. Pops into mind. So marketing strategy and my observation, execution of the ideas. They've got people that I've been working with for the last couple of years, and it always astonishes me how much energy that you all bring to the craft. Okay, you can translate that now. But you want me to repeat it? No, I just amazed at how energetic Shinsu guys are. I mean, they were here this morning at 5 o'clock, and we're all going to be working until about midnight tonight. So where'd everybody get that energy from? Okay, so they're going to do a translation and come back to me in a second with the answer. But these guys here, absolutely terrific. There's other things that you need to know about the team that does all of this for the Guam Visitors Bureau, because, as I said, it's not just the marketing, putting together ideas and building these gigantic, almost castles that they take around to all of the travel shows that they do. It's the on-the-ground execution, and I don't know that there is another company in Japan that gets Guam, gets GVB, and more importantly, gets Carl Guiares. So, do you think you have an answer now?
Okay. Yes.
Okay.
So, the reason why we have so much energy is that we consider the GVB's account is really, really important for us. So we commit 6 people as core members, but we have more people underneath the 6 members.
How many people in the company?
So more than
120.
120.
120 people.
Yeah.
And all in Osaka based.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Any reason for that? I mean, you're big enough. You have enough.
Yes,
You could go national.
Yes. Now we are international. We have a branch in Tokyo
Mhm.
and Hokkaido, Sendai, Tokyo, Nagoya.
Ah, I see.
And Hiroshima and Fukuoka.
Now, are there plans in the future for expansion beyond even the island?
Oh yeah. No.
No.
Well, could be. Yeah, we want, but not now.
Not now.
Just
So-
near future.
so
maybe.
I wanted-
At first, Guam, maybe.
But there's different pressures. So you can please ask your father about the impact that the yen is having on business proposals, strategizing for your own company in the future. What do you think is going to be happening with the yen? How's that going to impact your business? In case you don't know, this morning when I got up, I took a look at what's going on with the exchange markets. The Japanese yen, 155.46. Philippine peso, if that's where you're headed, this weekend, 57.29. The South Korean won is 1,365. The yen has been taking a beating lately, and obviously we're concerned that that's going to be an issue moving forward with tourism. But what does it mean for the businesses here in Japan about their growth? So they're in conference right now on the conversation and the translation, and Taichi is going to take care of that in a second.
ちょうど円が違うということは、ビジネスが変わる時だから、これは我々のチャンスだ。パラダイムチェンジがすでに我々のビジネス。
I am delighted that they're putting so much thought into the answers. Thank you very much, Sochan. What do you think, Taichi? What would your old man have to say about all of that?
It's a really hard question, but it's turning point for a Japanese economy, and the yen is obviously not strong, but this circumstance is that the paradigm change, so the whole business model will be changed. So it's a chance for us.
To be able to figure out what the difference is going to end up being and where the company can go based on what those challenges are. 8:48 in Guam. I'm trying to look at the difference in the time zones here, and we're very, very close to the end of the broadcast. Do you enjoy, Higuchi-san? Do you enjoy working with GVB?
Sure. Sure.
Now, do you get to Guam every once in a while? Do you come to Guam?
Oh yeah, yes.
Very
yeah,
good.
I want more, but yes.
Okay. Well, there's a great opportunity now because the airplane flies out of Haneda. You can go Haneda to Guam.
Yes, that's a very good chance.
But
yeah, Haneda is the harbor of Japan.
We called that. They mentioned that, and we talked about this a little bit yesterday with some of the journalists and travel agents. They referred to it as a game changer. And we are of the feeling that this is going to be kind of a monumental change in the way we do hospitality on Guam. And you can answer that question because you were there.
Oh yeah. So it's a totally game changer. Haneda is really close from the heart of Tokyo. So, the travel agencies can offer more, convenient road for the people in larger area, like a regional area, including like, for example, Kanagawa and other regions. So
how many people are there in Tokyo? I was looking at the last time I looked, it was something like 10 million people, but I mean there's more than Sanjay.
So 300,000.
300,000?
Wait.
No, it's got to be bigger than that.
Yeah, sorry, I'm really bad at
No, like in this neighborhood, there's 300,000 people. in the entire Tokyo, it's a whole bunch. And the deal is all of a sudden they can become members of the flying class and find their way into Guam.
30 million.
30 million people.
Yes.
There are 30 million people in Tokyo, and by comparison, I want to say there are only 27 million in all of Australia and 27 million or so in Shanghai in China. That's the kind of markets that we are talking about. Higuchi-san, domo arigatou gozaimasu. Thank you very much for coming out and spending some time with coming up from Okinawa or Osaka to spend time with us here for the Haneda jump. And Taichi, thank you very much for the translation work today and yesterday. And I hope I see you on Guam again soon. And he gets a pat on the back from his old man. In just a few minutes, it's going to be 9 o'clock in the morning, and as we will do from time to time, there are folks that aren't going to be able to make it for breakfast, so I interviewed them yesterday. One of them is former senator. She's running for office again, Gibson. She was a former senator and then got elected back into office. Tell it to Tello, and let's see what she has to say about all of the adventures that she has been on. From the lobby of the Hotel MyStays, Ray Gibson with one of a couple of senators from the 37th Guam Legislature that is here with us today. Vice Speaker Tina Rose Munya Barnes is she's out gallivanting somewhere in Ginza, I think. But Tello Taitigui is in the place with us. Welcome to Akasaka.
Oh, thank you, Ray. It's so good to be here. I love Japan. The weather is a little bit cloudy, but I enjoy this free air conditioning.
I was going to say, so you got a jacket. I don't know where, but somebody gave me the impression I was coming to hot, muggy Tokyo because it's already May, and we step off the airplane, it's like 52 degrees, and it's snowing, and all I've got is a short-sleeve shirt from the Micronesia Mall. So anyway, I will acclimate a little bit later on. In the meantime, what's kind of interesting is most of us flew in from into Narita yesterday, and then came into the city. You actually were on the flight departing Guam into Haneda. How was that?
Oh, I thought that was appropriate since we were promoting Haneda, the Haneda flight. I had a public hearing that I must have attend to. It was my bill on the veterans, so I wanted to make that. So it allowed me to leave at a later flight at 7 o'clock. I got on the flight. It was nice and smooth all the way into Haneda, but the best part was that it was only 20 minutes to Tokyo,
right?
You know, compared to the other ones.
Oh, yeah. Well, we suffered through a 90-minute bus ride yesterday. So further, you know, as I said earlier, this is one of those things that puts it into stark perspective what a great idea it was to support United Airlines trying to get that Haneda route.
Yeah, absolutely. Any way we can make it easier for our tourists to come to Guam and enjoy our island, you know, instead of spending hours and hours in an airport or on a bus getting to and from. So I'm hoping that this promotion will work. We're here to promote it, to show that we're serious about it. Yeah. We've got all the backing, not only from Guam, but the CNMI as well. So I'm very appreciative of them being here to push that. Our brothers and sisters in the CNMI definitely need the support and the push. But I think Guam is as well. I mean, we are picking up speed, but the speed I think we'd like to see happen more is on the Japan market. Yeah. Japan has always been the greatest tourists on Guam. They're very hospitable, very, you know, nice individuals, very respectful. You know, and so I appreciate everything GVB is doing. Of course, you know, former Governor Carl Guiares, president now.
Unstoppable.
Unbelievably, you know, he's like the Energized Buddy, right? I think you've mentioned that one time before.
You should have seen him at the airport. He was leading the charge. The guy walks faster than everybody else at his age, and I'm still struggling with my hand carry, you know?
He is definitely ahead of us when it comes to, you know, moving forward, and he thinks ahead. He knows this issue. He gets on top of it. And I think what he's doing right now, pushing this initiative for Haneda, is the right move.
Well, one of the things that I've observed just in the few hours that we've all been here together is he's really, really pushing, super highly focused on the idea of the One Marianas approach. And that's something that we've talked about for a number of years, going back to when you were over at the Guam Visitors Bureau. And it looks like he's got all of the moving parts needed now to be able to cement that, to include involving the NMI in the Haneda route.
Yeah, absolutely. I think CNMI needs that extra boost, sorry. And I think my lips are kind of freezing right now at this point, but it's very cold here. But this is raining season, so we have to deal with it. Anyways, well, any day in Japan is a good day. So not only that, I think CNMI did their part, you know, in helping us, whether it's a typhoon recovery or any kind of assistance they need. It's our turn to reciprocate and give that pushback. We know that Saipan is having a difficult time. They're closing some of their hotels. Yes.
That's scary. That's absolutely scary.
I was just in Saipan actually about a month and a half ago, and you see a lot of abandoned buildings, a lot of abandoned stores, and I've asked the question, I said, why aren't they opening up? And the comment I got was, these individuals have leases on these storefronts, and they refuse to open up until the tourists come back. So now we've got to help push those tourists, you know, come to Guam, visit Guam, then take a hop over to Saipan, you know, and visit Saipan, a lot of history back in that area, and come back to Guam and head back to Haneda, where it's, you know, 20 minutes away from Tokyo.
You know, one of the words and this is going to be frequent through the discussion in the broadcast, that I keep hearing back and forth is cabotage, and how the idea of inviting other airlines into the area. And I'm told that United is not going to fight it if there is a push for cabotage to allow for more inter-island flights.
Yeah, that's a good idea. You know, Senator Jesse Luan has been pushing that cabotage.
Forever.
And I think forever,
Yeah.
right? You know, and then we also need to get on that bus, right, and ride that bus and push and put out our sides and picket signs to do the same. I think it's going to be a benefit for definitely Guam to have that cabotage lifted from us. So looking forward to whatever we can do, but that's at a DC level, you know, that we have to push. And hopefully we can grab our partners like Japan and, you know, other areas that tourism come to Guam, Korea and Taiwan, can help push that initiative through. That we're not losing businesses to the U.S., you know, companies. We're not doing that.
Yeah.
Guam is so far away from the United States, and we generate our revenue mostly from Asian markets. And this is where we are, where America Day begins, and America needs that push. Guam needs that push on our end.
You were telling me one of the reasons why I had to stay in town and not join us on the Narita flight was because you had a public hearing for your veterans bill. Fill me in, which one was that for? Because it joins a chorus of other conversations about what needs to be done for veterans. Your colleague, former colleague Jimmy Craig Moylan in Washington, D.C., you know, banging the drums and saying, well, why is it so unfair? Why is all of the steps that need to be taken for veterans care, why does that have to go through Hawaii or Washington, D.C., and we can only fly here and we can only fly there? What was your measure about?
Well, my measure actually was generated from a public hearing that we had, an oversight that we had, and listening to some of the other veterans speak. But a good friend of mine who came up to me and told me the story of how difficult it was to get medical attention, especially specialized care. And one of the saddest stories I heard was a friend of his who was an amputee had a difficult time of getting to and from his appointment. Nice. He doesn't have children. Yep. He doesn't have family members that are on Guam anymore. His siblings are gone. And luckily some of the other veteran guys help him out, sending him to doctor's appointments, you know, with them, taking him, not sending him to, but picking him up for doctor's appointments and getting his prescription as something as simple to go get some water and food for him. So the Veterans Office can do more, you know, for our island. I think they can, if they have the right staff in there to assist them, especially with the medical, because, you know, we're all aging. You know, this next generation is a lot more seniors than there are children these days, you know, as we So what the bill will do is create a liaison, medical liaison within the Veterans Office. So now you have dedicated staff who will help individuals fill out their medical referrals, help them find specialists through the process, and not give up. I mean, many of our veterans they get so frustrated and how to do this, they just give up. And we're losing young veterans because they don't understand, or nobody's there to hold their hand to go through it. So not only are we providing 3 liaison individuals to help them, we're also paying for a van, a bus, to help pick these individuals up for doctor's appointments, picking them up from the hospital.
Everything they need.
Exactly. Yep. So I also heard of a story of an individual, a veteran, who was at Naval Hospital, and when he was released, he was sitting under the awning with nobody to pick him up. And even though that the CBOC does have a bus, you know, to help individuals, they're not always available all the time, and they're limited. And one of the limitations is taking someone from the hospital who just got checked out and home. So this would cover those, you know, little areas that have not been addressed.
You got the budget?
Yes, it's only $340,000 for everything. You know, 3 people plus the bus driver and the bus to be able to house them. And that's very affordable. But Ray, the point is the Veterans Office.
I think they blew that on raises at Adelup last week. Oh, wait a second. Probably should leave that there. I think it's a great measure. I support that. I support all the work that we can do for the veterans. We've got a program that runs on Monday nights called Veterans with Benefits, and the whole idea is to just try to, you know, funnel everybody into a place where they can find out what they've got coming to them. And it changes all the time, as you know. Veterans benefits, you know, are pretty fluid these days, and just takes some guidance to find out where all of that stuff is. Anyway, glad to have you on this trip with us.
There was one thing I wanted to bring up, since we're on this trip. You know, we're going to...
No, don't have time. We got to jump into Fox News. Sorry about that. There's always going to be another thing to talk about and more time to do it. That's what we're all about here at 93.3 The Point. Have a fantastic Mother's Day to everybody. For Donna and Real Joe and Jerry Roberts that didn't get to come with me on this trip, thank you so much for making it easy on me. Back on the radio with you Monday morning. Have a great Guam weekend.
Made clear to Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu that the U.S. will not support a major military operation in the southern Gazan city of Rafah, where more than 1 million Palestinians are sheltering. Still, Kirby says a final decision on providing the high payload bombs has not been made, and the administration is not backing away from shipping defensive weapons to Israel.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. The judge in former President Trump's hush money trial has denied the defense's second request